buttons.
All right, what's up, everybody? We are back. We're going to go over David Gingras' response to the bar complaints. As promised, I am topless. The camera is off right now, but I am going to turn it on, and no, it will not be pointed at the ceiling. So, thank you for joining us, and you will...
Bruce, you should have waited.
Bruce, you're gonna see... everybody's going to see me topless.
Do I have to point something at the ceiling? That's what I heard.
No, they said the camera was going to be pointed at the ceiling.
That.
I said no. Teresa says, are you painting your fun bags? No, I am not.
Oh, boy.
All right.
Painting with
I
mustard?
don't know. Is everybody ready? If everybody in the comment section is ready, then I'll do it. But I got to hear that people are ready.
Cat lady
Should we do a poll?
Oh, boy.
No polls. This is already set in motion.
No polls for you, Lauren.
If there's a poll, that means you have to do a pole dance.
I mean, does anyone have a poll? Because I'll do that too. But
I think we have 2 polls on this stream.
I thought that was funny.
it was hilarious.
I see a lamp pole behind you, Bruce.
My tiny lamp.
I'm as ready as I'll ever be. I think that about says it all. Hang on, wait.
I need the light. If it gets too dark, the walls.
Are you dressed for success, Lauren?
I am not dressed for success.
Undressed for success.
Mispronounced name. Thank you for the $2 tip jar. That's awesome. Thank you very much.
Oh,
all right,
boy.
But I will tell you right now, you can see me topless for free. So here's a preview of my OnlyFans page. Just kidding, please. I'm never doing that. All right.
Yet.
It's me. I'm topless.
Wait, what?
I'm wearing pants on my chest. Get it? Because they're bottoms.
They're pants? Show me the pants. Where are the legs?
Right here.
Her arms.
What is going on?
It's like a skirt that she's wearing on her arms.
Yeah, I'm wearing
Does this
bottoms.
mean
I'm
your
topless.
shirt is on your legs?
No, I have more pants on my legs.
More pants? Double pants? I'm confused.
What's confusing about this? I'm topless.
The investigation continues.
Question. Are there bra straps?
Sexual confusion back in college.
I get that a lot. Sorry, what?
Are there bra straps?
No.
There's like coat hanger things if I can find it.
Coat hangers?
For your
no,
bra?
but drawstring.
No. Bra straps. Like, are you wearing a bra? Because it looks like no.
No, of course not. I'm in my own house. I live alone. Why would I do that?
Are you holding your boobs up with coat hangers?
No, we're not quite there yet, Bruce. Thank you. I'm still in my 30s.
Okay.
Mispronounced name. Thank you for the $2. For the record, I don't demand a refund.
I'm just trying to understand all this so I can tell my therapist later.
Oh, okay.
Like exactly
well, if you want,
what
I could
happened
explain
tonight.
it to her if you want to do a couples therapy session.
Oh boy. Yeah, we might need to do that.
Okay, I'm putting my shirt back on now. Everybody got what they came for, so hold on. Watch me forget to turn the camera
Did I
off.
get what I don't...
Did you come for what you got is the question.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking.
Shut the fuck up. That's disgusting. You guys are perverts. Well,
Have you met us?
Are you just finding this out?
What?
My name is Schnitzel Ninja 69, y'all.
Yeah.
What does that mean? What is 69?
I think you should ask your mom.
I'll explain it
would know.
later.
I mean, I could. She's watching. Mom, are you in the comments? What's a 69?
Oh boy.
Okay, 1 second.
Obviously not what she did the night you were conceived.
Oh dear.
Oh.
Oh, bread coming in hot.
Well, Laura could get pregnant from it. Just saying.
Ooh, she could.
Apparently. What's
Did.
up, Flux? How you doing?
I had to take off my headphones to put my shirt back on, so I have no idea what was just said.
Nothing.
It was all really good.
Oh, don't worry, I'll watch it back.
The best of comments.
I doubt that. Okay. Ask
The
your dad
the
what a
comments-
69 is. No thanks.
Yeah, exactly. We were talking about 69.
Oh, stop.
Can I put a little comment in here?
Yeah, go
I
ahead.
was playing Cards Against Humanity with my parents one time,
Oh no.
and my dad didn't know what Roadhead was
Uh-oh.
until like I explained it to him, and then he was like, "Oh, I know what that is," and I was like, well, "What do you call it?" I did not ask, but I thought, what do you call it?
Well, now I want to know what he calls it.
Yeah,
Well,
right.
Richard, I gotta ask.
Driving busy.
Lauren's next truck eating my taco. I mean, that's creative, I guess, but I've never had an initial truck, so I don't know about that. Okay, so we're gonna start out with this was an email in response to like the people at the bar. I guess it's not the response to the complaint just yet.
What was the bar called?
Was the bar called?
Yeah.
Something 69, I guess.
Slippery Dick
Teresa S, thank you for the
Saloon.
$9.99. Taco
boy.
Cash, you're really not supposed to pay me for that, but thanks. Thank you, Teresa. I appreciate you. All right. 1 second. Here we go. So this is his response to one of their emails regarding this complaint. So it's not the formal response to the complaint, but let's see what he had to say. Ms. Brokaw and Mr. Lee, as a follow-up to yesterday's emails, so I guess there were other emails, I need to add a couple supplemental comments regarding the charge from, and then redacted. After or shortly before, the timestamps on Twitter are not necessarily reliable. What? My response to you yesterday, redacted, posted information about her bar charge on Twitter. Huh? I did not know about this at the time I sent my response to you. I only learned about it yesterday evening. Screenshots of Redacted's tweet are included below, and a link to her post is here. You should be able to see this without a Twitter account. And then they have this username here, which the people who sent this to me, they redacted it already, so anything that's we can see on the screen is something that they're okay with. Note this Twitter account, tramp stamp.
Is Gingras saying this Twitter account is the person who filed the complaint?
It seems that way.
It seems.
Mm-hmm.
I believe that's not true.
I was about to say the same thing, but I mean, this is what he's claiming. Keep in mind. So
Whatever.
No, it's Greg Gillespie that runs it.
Greg's behind everything.
God damn it. Note this Twitter account, Tramp Stamp Lawyer, is a parody criticism account created by the JFC cult, which is focused on
He
publishing.
capitalized it.
Yeah, okay. Which is focused on publishing negative information about me. Before you ask, I have no idea what the significance of this term is. Yeah, okay, sure. A tramp stamp.
Dude, you have one. You have one.
He's a man. He's a man. He knows what a tramp stamp is. Don't even give me that. Like, he's a grown man.
It would sound less disingenuous if he said, I don't know what this term is in regards to me.
Right.
Because then it acknowledges that most people understand what the term means. He just doesn't know how it's being used against him.
David, you're a tramp stamp. If a person could be a tramp stamp, it would be you.
Wow.
Isn't that what it is?
I believe that umbrella guy was like, he should get a That Umbrella Guy tramp stamp, and then and then Tug was like, I'll be on his side for the trial or something.
I've heard that he's the human embodiment of a tramp stamp a number of times. I don't know who originally said it.
I think
it was God.
Evolved out of
God. Jesus Christ.
Wasn't ready for that one.
Oh boy.
Haley Kayoko did not say that.
Oh boy.
All right. Where were we? I have no idea what the significance of this term is, a tramp stamp. But he explains it right here. Usually refers to a tattoo on a woman's lower back. I do not have any tattoos.
That's
the whole point. You're supposed to
get
one.
Laura, to my knowledge.
I know, like, what is...
I haven't read it yet.
Oh, God. In any event, I have
Is this guy live action role playing the biggest moron on the planet? Like, yeah, you don't have one. You're supposed to get one of that umbrella guy. That's the whole point.
The Zohan, thank you for the $2. I moist ass a question about 69. God, you guys suck. Thank you, Mr. Zohan, for all of your support and torture.
This is what you get for Lauren After Dark.
Salacious.
Shit. I have lights on. Please stop. All right.
Keep the lights on or the wolves come out.
Okay. In any event, I have never threatened whoever is behind this account. I am blocked from following the account. Okay. So I cannot see their tweets when using my normal Twitter account. So
he's admitting he has an all Twitter account.
Right,
if he's saying when using my normal Twitter account.
If he ever complains that I'm following him from my other account, this is what I'm going to point to.
You should.
The reason we know blank posted this. Oh, so I guess they're going to explain why they think this Twitter profile is this person. The reason we know Redacted posted this is pretty simple. The tweet includes a copy of the bar's letter to her dated yesterday. So, although she redacted her name from the letter, she did not redact the file number 24-1692. Yeah, but she could have given it to anyone, right?
Mm-hmm.
So what the fuck? Obviously, I have no issue with redact. Oh, I see.
Only Clayton had this bar report. Come on.
Obviously, I have no issue with Redacted or anyone else posting truthful statements and fair criticism online. Yeah, okay.
That's Donald Trump.
Truthful criticism or anything that goes against his narrative.
Yeah.
Right. Nor do I have any objection to them sharing matters of public record, but your client does. That's how the law works. Although, have you told Laura that? although this is slightly ironic given that your client never mind. All right. Given that Redacted asked the bar for a protective order to prevent me from retaliating against her. As I indicated in my letter yesterday, I have no idea who Redacted is. I have never communicated with her, nor have I ever threatened her in any way.
Until now.
There's still time.
Right.
Well, you just admitted that there are alts on Twitter and stuff like that. How do you know you never threatened this person?
Also, we've seen his emails to Dave Neal, Megan Fox, and Mike Maricini. We've seen his emails to people. They're not nice.
Mm-hmm.
No, they're not.
I don't want to get an email from this guy.
No. He can be nice for like 10 minutes and then he just like it's like a flip switches and just yeah. When he realizes his usual manipulation tactics aren't working, a flip switches and then he just becomes a huge asshole. He becomes a tramp stamp. In my opinion.
No, the tramp stamp is above an asshole. So he's not really a tramp stamp, is he?
Oh boy.
He starts out as a tramp stamp and slowly slides down to an asshole.
There's three kinds of people.
Talking.
Oh,
Wait,
it's so moist it just drips down there.
A moist ass.
Did nobody remember that video or that movie?
What fucking
moist
movie?
Ass?
There's three kinds of people in this world: dicks, pussies, and assholes.
Oh, sorry. Boy. I thought you were talking about the moist butt crack thing, and I was like, what
no.
movie was that?
No.
Thank you, Brad, for not saying this.
I think Lauren's going to ban me and Schnitzel here in a minute.
No, I don't have any other friends.
I don't have to wetten my personality for this chat.
Oh, gross! 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 All right. Where was I in this? As I indicated in my letter yesterday, I have no idea who Redacted is. I have never communicated with her. How do you know that? Nor have I ever threatened her in any way. The first time I saw her name was when you submitted her charge to me yesterday. This leads to my second point. I am concerned Redacted may have misunderstood Mr. Lee's comments in his June 26th email to her. In that email, Mr. Lee advised Redacted correctly that statements made to the bar are subject to an absolute privilege. Okay. That statement is, of course, completely true. And I have no problem with this.
Oh, good.
So why is this not the end of your letter? However, any suggestion that Redacted is wholly immune from suit just because she also submitted a complaint to the bar is incomplete and potentially misleading. I am concerned the reference to immunity in Mr. Lee's email may have caused Redacted to believe, incorrectly, that she is absolutely immune from suit for any public statement she makes on social media simply because she also made the same statements to the bar. That is obviously not correct. Please explain to the bar how that works. A bar complaint, please. Oh my God, he's going to do it. Okay. A bar complaint does not grant the complainant carte blanche to publish defamatory statements elsewhere.
It's not defamatory if it's true.
Right.
Yeah.
They were just pointing out things that he said. Okay.
Oh God.
Clearly, while I have no intention of suing her or anyone, I mean, you're talking like, okay.
Also, this is the guy who allowed like risque pictures of girls to be allowed online without their consent. What? Hello? What's happening?
Oh boy.
He doesn't like my statement.
No, I did not.
Oh.
Wow.
Jermaine down, thank you for the 5. I can't unhear any of this. #trauma.
Hashtag.
Solidarity, brother.
If that's the traumatic piece, I'm gonna keep my inside thoughts on the inside.
MG Law echoes what Snitzel was saying, unless those statements are the truth. Does that include Brad's interesting gross beef statements, or
Maybe.
I didn't even bring it up.
No.
Never forget.
Here's the amazing thing. This guy writes
that is one dry roast beef sandwich.
Oh, need a French
Okay, I'm going to continue reading now.
You're gonna break me worse than Dr. Hines.
Well, here's the thing. This guy spends an entire paragraph.
I can't hear you. Clearly, while I have no intention of suing her or anyone else, if I put my headphones back on, I'm going to hear something moist. If redacted posts false and defamatory statements about me on the internet, she would be subject to liability for defamation regardless of whether she also happened to make the same statements to the bar. I think it's very important she understands this, and I think it's clear she does not understand this. Okay,
why are you
time
telling
out
the
is
bar
over.
instead of telling her?
Wait, Lauren, will you read that in like an angry toddler voice?
Oh no.
I mean, you don't have to like.
Okay, but nobody on this panel is allowed to unsubscribe when they hear my angry toddler voice. All right, here we go. Wait, which part? Sorry, tell me where to start.
At least the last sentence, but you can like get into it.
Wait, this last sentence, I think it's very important. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm trying to discern between angry toddler and angry teenage girl. Hang on.
Either would be great.
I think I'm there. Okay. I think it is very important she understands this. And I think it's clear she does not understand this. Was that good?
That was great.
Thank you. Appreciate that. Where did Bruce go?
I was protesting.
Silently.
So here's the amazing thing. He spends an entire paragraph talking about how it's important for her to know that he could sue her or that she can't defame him. And then he's like, I'm not going to sue her or anyone else. So like, why'd you spend a whole paragraph talking about it?
He does that in like all of his emails to people. It's like,
well, I'm assuming he knows that she's going to see this. Yes.
He's talking out
he has to because he says, I think it's important she understands this. Well, how's she going to understand it unless she receives a copy of this?
Well, he knows she will, so he wants to keep the threat without actually explicitly making the threat. So
yes, and it's like a manipulation tactic to say to them, well, I could do this, I could do this, but I'm not going to because I'm a nice guy,
MG Law says I need to get the voice mod. Okay, but if I did that, it would be less weird, and that's my whole brand. So I can't.
I think Lauren is a voice mod.
All right, I'm gonna let somebody else take over. Hang on. Who wants to read?
Go ahead.
It'll be fun.
Or a go to
do this.
Oh, jeez. As I explained in my letters from yesterday, it is important for Mr. Lee and all bar staff to know the JFC cult is extremely dangerous, and they should be treated as such. In addition to making false statements to you, which they believe they can do with impunity, they are doing huge fans of doxing anyone they dislike.
I like this pretentious voice you're doing. I just wanted to give you some positive feedback. Please continue.
Oh boy. How dangerous can we be? Look, I have a tiny bird.
I'll plug his ears.
I'm not dangerous.
Do owls have ears? I don't know.
I don't know. Stick your fingers in their head and find out.
Anyways, feel around for some holes on either side.
We're interrupting the snub, Brad.
It's not even Friday.
Go on.
They will typically publish any and every document they can find which supports their narrative or which appears to denigrate myself or Laura or anyone else they dislike. Because of this, I am confident Redacted and or other cult members will publish any and every document relating this matter in any effort to make it appear falsely that I am guilty of some wrongdoing. For that reason, I would respectfully ask that Mr. Lee exercise caution in this future correspondence with Redacted. He should be aware that anything or everything sent to Redacted will be posted online by her, not by me. At the very least, in future correspondence, Mr. Lee should also inform Redacted that Supreme Court Rule 48L does not provide immunity from claims arising from the publication of these false and defamatory statements on social media or anywhere outside the scope of what the court or what the rule protects.
Hold on. I would love to imagine him just sitting at like his tiny computer, like typing like, what rule. What rule
does this can't happen? Like those mini pink laptops, you know, the kind your mom or grandma used to have.
With a Hello Kitty on the back?
Well, have you seen his screenshots? He's obviously using some sort of laptop or computer with really old resolution because it's like really low res.
Because his client's not paying him.
Yeah. He's using like Hello Kitty computer.
Laura, though.
What's
he
that?
Made that statement.
Which statement?
That Laura he has a Hello Kitty him.
Computer. Hold on. What was it back in the old, like, I don't know if this is actually true or not, or if I just saw it in the movie Holes, but in the old days when they would trade like a donkey or a pig or something for the man's daughter's hand in marriage.
Oh,
the dowry?
Yeah. So maybe it's like they're paying him in horses or something like that. You know what I mean?
Or blowjobs?
No.
No.
Maybe?
That is very much unethical. And
allegedly. Oh, well, we're talking about...
I would not impugn the integrity of Mr. Gingras.
Oh, boy.
Who knows? Anything's possible.
Stop it. This conversation's getting too moist.
Who's been doxxed?
Yeah.
Me! Everyone knows who I
am. If anything, we know that client 0 or the patient 0 was doxxed.
He doxxed someone.
The person
I've never doxxed anyone.
Who's
been doxxed?
Twitter was doxxed. I know that. That's like the biggest one I know of.
What happened?
Oh, the person who used to run the JFC Twitter was doxxed.
Yeah. I don't think that wasn't by David, though, right?
But victim 1 was doxxed by him.
Yes.
Right.
Yeah.
So he's like, arguing against that on his Twitter, and this was right before he went private or whatever. And he was arguing against like the fact that he didn't, redact victim 1 or whatever, victim 0, and he's like, like I wasn't supposed to know that or whatever, and we're thinking like, what he's avoiding is the realization that like, even if it's not against the law, people have every right to think you're a piece of shit for doing that. Mm-hmm. So like you who claims to be the defender of the free speech people or whatever, is now like freaking out because people are exercising their right to have an opinion about something you did, whether or not the law is involved. So,
yeah.
So annoying. Okay, where should I start reading? I forgot where we left off.
One final note.
One final note. In my letters yesterday, I suggested it is likely the bar has received or will receive many additional complaints about me related to the Owens v. Echard case. I realize that statement probably sounds paranoid, but I smoked a bunch of weed earlier, and now I'm writing this email. But there was a very specific reason for that remark. Oh boy.
Oh my God, he's got a hard-on for Dave Neal. Jesus Christ.
God.
My God. He's mentioned in like every filing from like June on.
He spends more time thinking about Dave than Tasha does.
Oh boy.
I mean, Tasha's got a baby. She's got another man in her life now.
Yeah.
Oh.
I'm just saying it must be nice, even though they're going through the whole new baby thing, that someone is still moist when they think about him. I can't believe I just said that. All right. One of the primary primary leaders of the JFC cult is a YouTube content creator named Dave Neal. Mr. Neal claims to be a journalist. He is not. Hey, hold on.
He is.
Yeah.
He has credentials to prove that, correct?
He does.
Well, are you making false statements to the bar?
He literally reported on June 10th, so he's a reporter.
Right. And he's a member of whatever that club is. That
Society of Professional Journalism number. I also have one somewhere here, but anyway.
Like, that literally cannot be an opinion. He is, you know what I mean?
It's not. That's an objective fact. A wrong one, by the way, like a misleading statement, a misstatement, if you will. Instead, Mr. Neal's primary source of income is posting self-created videos on YouTube.
And
you would know because you posted videos of Clayton on your YouTube, man.
Well, that's also incorrect. His primary revenue stream is the podcast, not YouTube.
Right. Well,
so he's factually wrong. Like mathematically. He's mathematically wrong. What's that?
I said, don't let facts get in the way of a good time.
Yeah. I mean, he's wrong.
Mr. Neal is also friends with Mr. Echard. Well, you would be very upset to learn that Mr. Neal does have friends, including most people in this panel right now. So most.
Wait, okay. There are 4 people, and you're saying most. So,
yeah. So I was assuming
the non-friend.
Oh gosh, eeny, meeny, miny, mo. Here's my problem. I don't like to speak for other people, but I assume that yes, we're all friends here. Okay. Also, and I guess because
dare you?
Because so we don't really, know your personal identity or whatever. I'm just kind of like, wait, are you friends with Dave? I don't know.
I'm friends with everybody.
I mean, here's the thing: if Laura had, had reasonable evidence and had a rational argument to make, and had come on Dave's show, or given Dave good evidence, like they'd probably be friends. Like, it's not. He's not friends with Laura because of Dave. It's because of her.
Cat Lady Ballerina says, since he has also declared Megan Fox also a non-journalist, if that is in fact her real name, which is a legit complaint that he raised. But I just want to point out that Elizabeth Naylor, who has been involved in these false copyright claims, her real name is Elizabeth Naylor, but she happens to go by Jan Black. So it's funny. It's funny that we're talking about real names. Oh, sorry about that. Okay. And MG says, so he's making false statements to the bar. Correct.
Interesting.
And I know you know he watches Dave's videos and shit, even if he says he doesn't, because the tweets that he's been putting lately, like he's angry about this content and stuff, and YouTubers being exploitative and stuff like that. But like he claims not to watch it. So I'm like, that Dave is a journalist because he's talked about it in his videos pertaining to this case. So you're knowingly making false statements to the bar at this point.
Right. Oh, and I was thinking about that. There was a video that Tug did where he said, he says he's not looking at all this stuff, but he said, he's got binders and binders full of like everything that everybody is saying.
Oh, yeah, for sure. Oh man, I guess he and Laura have that in common.
And he says Mr. Neal will obtain a copy of the document from the court, and then read the entire pleading on YouTube. Like, what kind of crime is that? Like, who gives a fuck if you take a court document that's available to the public and read it?
Right.
Like,
save everyone the hassle of having to drive to the courthouse.
What a crime!
It's up there. It's on par with the man attending a public trial. So.
Yeah, exactly.
Can you guys imagine what this would have looked like if she had gotten a normal person to represent her, like another normal person? Do we think like she would have gone through 3 more people by this time?
Easily.
Do we think she would have like just found someone who would have, I don't know, tried to ignore like the lies? Like, isn't it crazy that these 2 found each other and like this is what has happened?
Yeah.
Sorry, Jermaine Down, thank you for the 2. Says, I was a Marine Corps medic and you broke me. Like, we're so gross that we broke the Marine Corps medic.
Oh boy.
You're welcome.
I'm former Army, and that's awfully weak. The Marines should be more heartier than that.
He's just being funny. It's cool.
Some military trash talk going.
Thank you, Jermaine. I was not in the military, and I will not trash talk you, but moist. So, over the last several months, yes, that's where we left off. Okay, Mr. Neal has published. Nope. Sorry, I forgot the 10th thing. Mr. Neal claims to be a journalist. He is not. Instead, Mr. Neal's primary source of income is posting self-created videos on YouTube. Mr. Neal is also friends with Mr. Echard, and he personally attended the trial on June 10th, along with thousands of other people per your statements, but okay. Mr. Neal even set up a tent outside the courthouse where he live streamed for several hours before the trial.
How dare he?
Was it several hours? I don't think it was.
Yes.
Was it several hours beforehand, though?
Yeah, like 6 a.m. or whatever.
We got there pretty early.
I think it was several hours, but so what?
Like several hours beforehand, though, because the trial was pretty early in the morning. So I don't think he was more than 2 hours.
It might have been around 2, I think. But anyway, like the literal head of all of the court building security, the police lieutenant or whatever, sergeant, told us it was all okay. He told us exactly where we could be and what we could do. And everything was approved. So, like, why is he complaining about this?
Inconvenient facts.
Because cult. I don't know. There's a lot of stuff going on in that brain of his.
Crazy. Yeah.
Maybe that's where the tramp stamp is. It's on his brain.
It doesn't matter. He's just writing marketing material.
Poisoning.
Yeah.
From the tattoo on his brain.
God. All right. Anyways. Now that we're past that. Hey, Winks. Sorry, that was my squirrel moment.
Wait, on page 2?
Yes. But I think a lot of his stuff is like exhibits. And like here, like pictures of Dave that he keeps on his personal computer for fun.
Sexy.
Like in his hidden album.
Yeah. All right. Over the last several months, Mr. Neal has published hundreds of hours of videos about Laura and me. I would wager
hundreds of hours of content.
I would wager to bet that he has not posted hundreds of hours of content about David Gingras, but okay, you're special. Among other things, anytime
Petitioner's lawyer is special.
Petitioner's lawyer is special. Anytime a new pleading is filed in Owens v. Echard, Mr. Neal will obtain a copy from the court and then sit and read the entire pleading word for word on his YouTube channel. Mr. Neal earns. I mean, I could sit there and read the freaking old yellow pages if I wanted to, if people would watch that. Like, who cares?
Yeah.
As long as you're topless.
Oh my god, no! I'm not putting pants back on my upper body, but I will do the phone book thing just to be facetious. All right,
in the gingerbread voice.
Oh my god! Stop giving me ideas.
Subscribed.
Look at me, Daddy! I'm reading the phone book. Hee hee.
Oh no! We've murdered Brad.
Mm-hmm.
My gingerbread voice is these guys moist.
Oh, wait, just thought of it. Broke Brad Mountain.
Oh, no.
Not the gumdrop buttons.
I'd say breaking Brad.
Buttons.
All right. Anyways, Mr. Neal earns money based on the length of his videos. Not true if nobody watches it. Length of his videos and number of views each video receives. So he has an incentive to post as much content as possible and to make it as inflammatory as possible. That's not factored into the algorithm, is it?
Inflammatory? Check.
God damn it.
Wow.
It's part of the uploading thing. It asks you, is there any, harassing content, sexual violence or anything? And then you got to make sure to put inflammatory.
And then it's like, we'll double your dollars.
Mm-hmm.
Extra ads for inflammatory content.
Inflammatory ads for inflammatory content.
Oh, God. It's a special level of YouTube partner. You can't be on it unless you've gotten a false copyright claim.
Yes.
He literally posts new videos about Laura virtually every day because Laura does something fucking stupid virtually every day. You can't help that, okay? And sometimes more than once a day. Case in point.
Mm-hmm.
This has slightly reduced since the trial in June. Several months ago, Mr. Neal submitted a complaint to the bar about me. And why was that, David? Do you want to remind us? That complaint was later dismissed.
Also, I want to point out that statistically, 90% of bar complaints are dismissed. So don't feel fucking petitioner's lawyer is not special.
God damn it. All right. Okay. That complaint was later dismissed. Despite this, Mr. Neal made videos discussing his allegations against me. So fucking what, man? And he posted this video, which, in my view, encouraged other people like Redacted to submit additional complaints. Oh my fucking God. So, Guy talks about the shitty things that you've done, and it's his fault that other people think you're shitty. Okay.
There's no prohibition on people submitting bar complaints, and the age of the internet only democratizes that functionality.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Internet lawyer, my ass. All right. So he's like claiming that Dave is inciting this stuff, but like it literally, if Dave had never talked about this kind of stuff and like we still knew that David was doing this, I guarantee you there would still be additional complaints. Like, Jesus Christ. Obviously, I recognize and respect my ethical duty. Well, I raise you. Look at me, Daddy. But okay. To cooperate with any investigation you may perform. I have always complied with that duty and will continue to do so, except when you shit on the bar in your recent tweets.
And except when you continue to drink alcohol, like on your latest vacation, when you're not supposed to. That's kind of shitting on the bar, don't you think?
He's not supposed to.
I mean,
he's not supposed to be drinking alcohol. It was part of the agreement from
ever.
I don't think ever.
Ever is a little harsh, dude.
I don't know what the stipulations were, but I have heard whisperings of him not supposed to be doing it now, and he is.
Oh.
Well, I let's because I'm a reasonable person and not the crazy lunatic that he paints me to be, or like us as a collective to be. I am going to assume that it's fine for now. How about that? Because I don't want to be accused of making false claims against him when the actual legitimate claims that I can totally prove with, evidence are more than enough.
I'll see if I can find the ruling.
Oh my God, please do.
Actually, you know what? We believe that Woodnick would have a case against him for any of the private emails that they've gone back and forth over about different things. But you know who could submit one and who is attorney who had dealings with Corey?
Yeah.
Corey
could submit something about him, about his conduct, and intimidating him to not file the rule of candor.
That's true.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. And also Mike could.
Yeah.
Mike Maricini.
Oh, sorry. MG's back here. My bad. How long have you been here?
I think Corey Keith is the best candidate because he's a lawyer from the case.
Sorry, man. I invited MG in and I just forgot.
Oh, nice.
I have a stream starting in just a couple of minutes, but I thought I'd pop in.
Yeah, thanks.
So.
You look so much different with your glasses and the light not coming through your window anymore.
A volcano and everything now. It's all
It's got the mood lighting.
Yeah,
I got to do a daytime stream this afternoon, so
it
was fun.
MG, what's your like TLDR of this letter here? Takeaway.
Well, I mean, he makes threats against the person who filed the complaint.
Yeah, right.
He apparently is lying to the bar. I'll still be shocked if anything comes of
it. Yeah,
I really will. I mean, most bar complaints go nowhere.
Mm-hmm.
But I mean, him trying to threaten and intimidate Mike Maricini is absolutely ridiculous.
Yeah, which is why he should file.
And that should be, well, the bar should do something about that. He's been very unprofessional in his tweets and his website blogs and really in some of his pleadings. And I think
look at me,
he should be disciplined by the bar for it. I mean, he's violating, he has a duty to be professional too. And he's just not meeting that standard.
Yes. And Mike has a right to sue him in California for releasing that deposition as well. It was
Oh, really?
Yeah, it was, according to a lawyer in California, it was illegal for him to have done that without Mike's permission.
Interesting.
MG, I just saw your private chat that says sup. I pulled an Omar on him and I just left him hanging for a while.
It's all right.
Oh my gosh. All right. We're here. I respect blah blah blah. At the same time, I want Mr. Lee to understand this is not a normal situation. The JFC cult has anywhere from 2,000 to 5,000 active members or more, and they are absolutely obsessed with destroying Laura and anyone else who stands in the way of their goal. I promise you, I'm much more obsessed with playing Pal World, but okay, fine.
Or justice. Seeing these people who could be your, sorry, I'm going to go on a soapbox. Who could be your son, your nephew, your brother going through this kind of shit, this kind of manipulation and abuse. That's why I won't speak for anyone else, but that's why I'm here. I wouldn't want to see anyone I care about or anyone in general have to go through any of this. It's like fucking ridiculous that anyone would do this to another person. So that's I don't give a shit about Laura. I don't want her to get hurt, and I don't care about anything about her as a person. I just want to see justice served.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I think Corey Keith would have a potential claim to file to complaint.
Yeah,
because he threatened him,
right,
and tried to get him to not file the duty of candor.
Did we ever find out what exactly he said to Corey?
They didn't release it.
Not publicly.
Right.
I mean, I believe it. So, yeah.
It's in one of Woodnick's filings that he intimidated him, though.
Mm-hmm.
And given his other, actions, I don't not believe it happened. I mean, I absolutely believe if Woodnick is saying he tried to intimidate or threaten Corey Keith, then he most likely did.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah.
All right. This is why I would expect the bar to receive numerous additional complaints if you have not already. Okay. This is not an indication of misconduct of my part. Well, okay. It's simply an unfortunate reality of what happens when you're dealing with an angry cult.
Only angry at your own professionalism.
Yeah, right. As always, I'm happy to discuss further if anyone has any questions. I don't think anybody wants to talk to him after reading it.
Had she had all of all the evidence and documentation and been truthful, we would be shitting on Clayton.
Exactly.
That's what I was saying earlier, right? Dave would have been her best friend.
Yeah.
And like what Dave says, like you follow the evidence.
Exactly.
Mm-hmm.
And I've said before that I was a supporter of hers before, at the very beginning when she said all this stuff, it looked believable to me because I didn't even think like, oh, maybe I should dig into this. It might not be true. My mind was like, why would anyone make that up?
I never heard of either one of them until Megan Fox got me started on this.
Yeah, and I didn't
check this out. And I was like, okay. Well.
I didn't know who Clayton was either. And when I was first sent it, it looked to me, it was like legit enough to be like, wow, I'm really sorry that happened to you. I think I even made a comment on Reddit, and then like more digging happened. And then I went back and deleted my comment. I will say.
That's kind of, I think part of it shows kind of part of the problem just with society as a whole is like some people won't speak up about Clayton's situation or like maybe some certain, media outlets with certain political positions, they won't share that story because right now we think, like why would she not be telling the truth, right? When you first see something like that, and people don't want to take that away from victims. They don't want to be like accusing victims of lying and stuff like that. So it's a tricky subject, and she really plays on that.
Mm-hmm. Yep, she knows exactly how to.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and it's also hard just to honestly talk about as someone who wants to be like, hey, like maybe we shouldn't just like blindly believe every accusation everyone makes. I honestly like just coming from the perspective of someone who myself has been through some abuse and stuff like that. Like, I don't think that everybody necessarily should be throwing stones at people just because an accusation was made. Like, it bothers me. But if you say that, people will attack you and be like, you know what, how dare you victim blame and stuff like this, or not believe it. I'm just like, dude, like, stop. Like, it's really hard to just breach the subject. And I feel that way about a lot of things. So,
yeah.
Anyways, here's Dave's photo, which is David's background of his computer. And just more screenshots of Dave's videos, which are in his album. Here is the alleged complainant's Twitter account. We don't actually know that, though. I don't know. He didn't really show his math on this, did he? To say, like, this,
it was
this
just a file number.
Complaint, right?
Yeah.
But, like, you could show that to anybody. So, 5:03 p.m., August 7th.
Oh, he's got a fancy tool to make that oval.
Yeah,
Is that an ellipsis?
Whatever. It's a red line.
Microsoft Paint?
Like, he's zoomed in on himself crying.
If he needed some Photoshop work, I heard his client is very good.
Yeah.
She's almost believable.
Oh, God, look at this. Arizona State Bar. Internet attorney. They didn't even spell it right.
That's AI doing that.
Yeah,
so.
I know.
Omar said that he thinks that was all photoshopped afterwards, but no, that's AI.
Yeah.
I think it's AI, yeah, for sure.
For sure.
It like never spells anything correctly.
Yeah.
But why is he including this? Like, it's just dumb.
I mean, maybe he's flattered by it. I don't know. Like, he's got a whole ass beard here.
You can imagine this getting passed around the bar's office. Like, look at all these great memes that the community is shitting on this lawyer with.
Yeah. I mean, the same way that I'm sharing this right now, like, that person on Twitter could have shared this on their Twitter account. It does not mean that that's the person who made the complaint. That is the stupidest thing I've seen so far. Hang on. Good morning. Attaches a letter from Senior Bar Counsel James Lee. And I think this was and this is the copy that was sent to him. Be aware, external email, think before you act. Okay.
Laura's got a tracker.
Oh, God, that's true. All right. And that was just an email. So we haven't actually gotten into the response yet. But there's a lot of exhibits in this, so it's not like going to be as long as it looks like.
All right, well, I'm going to duck out. Gotta head over to my stream stuff.
Well, thanks for coming.
Oh, no problem.
Have a great night.
That I'm not streaming and I'm not working, then send me one, and
all right,
I'll do my best to jump in. So
see you later.
Have a good night.
Bye.
See you.
All right. Let me zoom in on this a little bit because it might be hard for some people to see. Okay. So this is the formal response to the bar complaint. Iron Rabbit. See you later, Iron Rabbit. Thanks for coming. Or maybe he means, oh no, he says, okay, never mind. Okay. Miss Bruckle attaches my response to the charge from Redacted. As before, I have CC'd my client, Laura Owens, of course, on this response, since the allegations relate to her case. Is that normal?
Yes.
Okay. I really just don't know. Because
the bar complaint largely centers around his conduct in pursuit of her case.
Okay, that makes sense.
So he also is in that last paragraph there, it's saying if you need a waiver of client confidentiality for talking about anything regarding the complaint or specifics of the case, here it is.
Okay, yeah, gotcha. Okay, she's also easy to reach via the email address CC'd here. Well, we know that because she uses it to make all her false copyright claims. Laura has read the charge from Redacted and is familiar with both the complaint and the details of my response. Per ER 4.2, I don't believe Bar Counsel needs my consent to communicate directly with Laura. I assume such contact is otherwise authorized by law. If my consent is required, please accept this as my consent, blah, 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 blah. Okay. And then here is his response as attached. Dear Mr. Lee, this letter is in response to yours dated August 7th regarding a complaint you received from Redacted. As explained below, the complaint has no basis whatsoever, and it should be promptly dismissed. After reviewing the charge from Redacted, I need to be honest.
Whoa. Okay.
You need to.
Have you not been honest before?
Yeah, what? Oh my.
Okay. Her allegations are largely, if not completely, unintelligible. What?
half. I mean, almost every one of his filings is unintelligible.
Yeah,
and it's like
about,
so painful to read through them.
Jesus.
Also, how do you? I don't know. Largely, if not completely, like how do you quantify that? What? This is all subjective nonsense.
Yeah.
What did she say? I person don't like man. Gingras. I mean, like.
Yeah. It's not like she's using leet speak or something.
Right. And it's another way for him to just kind of put this person down.
Yeah.
You know, like another manipulation tactic, I think.
Yeah, that's his strategy is rhetoric, bombastic rhetoric, instead of just sticking to the facts.
Okay. I have no idea who this person is. Well, it seems like you figured it out because you found somebody's Twitter account. I have never met Redacted. Are you sure? Probably not. So I have.
Are you sure she doesn't live with you and is married to you?
I'm gonna say we're not going that far down the
No.
Okay. I tend to leave David's wife out of these things because I don't know anything. Like sort of like I did with Jan in the beginning, because I don't know anything about her, and she may just, like be doing the best she can. So, okay. So I have no personal knowledge regarding her allegations except to the extent they are described in the charge she received. Having said that, I will do my best to decipher her allegations and respond as best I can because the charge contains
a hot dog.
What a hero!
Some people
like a euro or a hero and a hot dog.
Oh boy, now I'm hungry.
Yeah, I could go for a hero right now.
Yeah, it sounds good. Okay. Because the charge
who would rather have a hero or who would rather have a hot dog?
I would rather have some shawarma.
Pizza. Because the charge contains multiple repetitive statements, like your filings, which appear to raise the same general points, like your filings, I will try to lump these together and respond to each group in turn.
Unlike your filings.
To help provide some context, as I explained in my response to the charge from Dr. Deans. Oh my gosh. Okay. I represent a woman named Laura Owens with respect to a single case, Owens v. Echard. That matter involved a petition to establish paternity filed by Laura on August 1st. Over a year ago now. So, in short, Laura claims she had a one-night stand with a man named Clayton Echard. Okay, that's definitely the in short version, but okay. It was formerly the star of the reality TV dating show The Bachelor. In her petition,
irrelevant.
He just loves to say that. In her petition, Laura claimed she became pregnant with Mr. Echard's child or children, and she petitioned the court to establish paternity.
Wait,
they don't know which.
Wait. Why is he saying or?
They don't know. He doesn't know. Nobody knows.
It was before his time, everyone.
God forbid he does a little bit of work.
I mean,
he's throwing her under the bus.
Of course he is. He's trying to. I mean, in a lot of the stuff he's doing, he's trying to save face, and also, like, I just can't imagine her lawyer, saying child or children. It goes. Yeah, exactly. He's throwing her under the bus. I had something else I was going to say, and I forgot it. So continue, Lauren.
Rachel Mitchell is not going to talk about anything until there's something worth talking about.
That's right.
A reporter asked Rachel Mitchell for an update on Laura Owens at a presser, and Rachel Mitchell tweeted back that they can't say anything other than they're investigating. So, okay, all right. Where did I leave off here? Having said that, I will do my best to decipher her allegations and respond as best as I can. Because we already got that because it's
so you're down by the child or children.
Oh boy. Which one?
We don't know. That's part of the problem, you asshole. Jeez, we don't.
You don't even. You're her lawyer representing her, speaking for her, and you don't even know.
Laura claims she had a miscarriage in mid-October or early November, but at which point did she start claiming that? Because before it was some other time, right? What was the other timeline? Or 7? As a result, she filed a motion to dismiss the paternity action. That is not what happened.
Oh wait, where are you here?
Right here at the top of where?
Yeah, so wouldn't a mid-October or early November 2023 miscarriage require fetal death certificates?
Yes. Yes.
Okay, so he's throwing her under the bus even more now.
Yeah, and in real time, she hadn't even admitted until like mid-December or later that she had a miscarriage.
Yeah, December 28th is when she filed that with Lexi.
Sorry, I got distracted by Discord. Okay. Confusingly. Okay. The Superior Court granted the motion to dismiss, but then allowed the case to proceed to trial on June 10th. Okay, can anybody explain that one? Because I know we've looked at this before, but I just can't, because he says this so much, and I'm just like, I don't remember her ever dismissing it. I know she dismissed a certain point of it. But...
So they were dismissing the original family court petition, which was like, hey, I'm pregnant. I think Clayton's the father. We need to figure out who gets the twins on Thanksgiving or whatever. That's what they dismissed.
And
they're like, we don't have any babies. We can't prove any babies. We can't prove paternity. Get the hell out of here.
Right.
Because Clayton and Woodnick responded to the allegation with their own claims that the evidentiary hearing was based on those claims. So the initial part of the establishing of paternity was denied, and Judge Mata attempted to try and resolve this during the status hearing and say, because I think Corey brought it up, is like, we were so confused when we saw the dismissal and then the withdrawal of the dismissal. And there's like, well, we're continuing forward with this for fees and costs and determining whether or not the action was brought illegitimately.
Okay. I'm going to share this really quick because somebody did just send it to me about what we were just saying. This is from a presser.
Are you able to provide an update as to where you're at in that process and potentially a time frame as to when a decision could be made?
I know, in fact, I was talking to one of the investigators working on it this morning about an update, and I know they're going through it quickly. They've talked to a number of people, and as you can imagine, it's gathering information from a number of different sources, medical, courts, etc. So they're busy working on that.
And then just generally, when looking at a case like that, how usual or typical or unusual is it to have a case referred to your office in the way that it was when a judge makes a ruling in a family court case and then it ends up in
I've seen that happen before. I've actually had cases where that's happened, and the judge has referred, typically it's for perjury charges, they'll refer it directly to our office. So that part's not uncommon. Obviously, the nature of the case is exceptional.
Well, does anyone? Oh wait, yeah, okay. So does anyone know who the reporter was asking the questions?
Cat Lady says that it's Bianca, the woman.
Bianca Buono. Yeah, I was gonna ask if it was her.
Nice.
It sounds like her.
That's great.
It's amazing.
This is her right there.
I hear she's like very impassioned about the whole situation and a huge supporter of justice being served.
She did arguably the best non-YouTube coverage of the entire incident. So
100%.
That's amazing.
Thank you, Cat Lady Ballerina. Thank you for sending that.
Is it? I feel like almost re-energized seeing that video. Is that weird?
Yeah.
Does anyone else feel the same way?
No, that was nice.
That's cool. Yeah.
Obviously, hearing the word exceptional is something.
Yeah,
What did she say? This case is exceptional?
The fact that she is saying that, like, to the public right now before like any charges have even been brought, is exceptional.
That'd be a good thumbnail. Tagline.
Giving me ideas.
Uh-huh.
All right.
Exceptionally moist.
Oh no.
You broke me. You broke me like you broke the Marine. All right.
No condiments, please.
Did they actually respond to that? Because I didn't see it.
Response. What do you mean?
To the Marine comment.
Oh, I don't think so. I didn't see anything, but I might have read it like a little while after it was said too. So I don't know if they're still here.
I wanted to make one note on, I don't remember the whole schedule she requested, but the one I do remember is that New Year's Eve, she requested for Clayton to have that. And I thought that was fucking hilarious because she knows that that's a night that people, single people enjoying their lives would want to go out and like party or hang out with their friends. And she's like, no, you would be stuck with the kids that night.
Oh, yeah.
Hmm.
He's got Hanukkah free, though.
Yeah.
Okay. We're here, but then allow the case to proceed to trial on June 10th. Trial was supposedly focused on Clayton's request for sanctions based on his allegation that Laura faked being pregnant. Well, she did fake it, so obviously Laura strenuously denies that she ever faked being pregnant.
I would say it is strenuous.
I think that's the only true statement he's made in this whole document.
He could have said like vehemently. Like, I mean, there were other words that's such an interesting word for him to use there.
I mean, honestly, it sounds more like a case of constipation.
Yeah, she's training.
I was pregnant. You're welcome.
The twins are just constipation.
Can I get somebody to read the first 3 paragraphs here? Up to right here where it says initial appearance.
You want to Bruce or?
Yeah, I'll do it. Let's see. So we've got, I first appeared in Laura's paternity case on March 25th, 2024. Prior to this, I had no involvement of any kind in the dispute. Also, Laura was represented by other counsel in the paternity case for part of the December 2023 through mid-March 2024. Importantly, Laura also had a separate, because the other stuff's not important. Importantly, Laura also had a separate matter involving Mr. Echard, FC, 71. The other matter was not a paternity case. The other proceeding involved a pro se petition for an order of protection. In short, in the order of protection case, Laura claimed Clayton harassed her by posting an embarrassing, partially nude photo of her.
Time out.
On the internet.
Are they now admitting that was the basis for the OOP?
Right, because she said
making it.
Yeah, she said it was because of the ultrasound.
Exactly. Well, so they were saying that it was because of other things like harassing texts he sent and stuff like that. When people pointed out that it was fake or it came from a different source, and now are they actually admitting that it was not because of any text that he sent?
Yeah, because we know Clayton didn't post that photo, but of course in this reply he's saying, "Oh, Laura." Well, he's saying Laura claimed that Clayton did it, which is true. She did claim that at the time.
But she also claimed that Greg did it, and
yes,
it's so
a lesbian connection.
It's so weird because she's saying that both of these men are equally at fault for doing the same thing because you can make accusations unproven with willy-nilly with zero recourse.
Yeah. This is like some sort of weird double jeopardy for claims.
She reminds me of a black widow spider that's like hanging out in the middle of its web that it spun and like trying to catch all these different people in its web. And she's going to like feast on this one for a little bit and that one for a little bit and let this one hang out for a little bit longer so she can keep eating on it. Like, you know what I mean? It's just like,
I'm scared to sleep now.
That's what it reminds me of. She's just got this big web that she's like entrapping people in, and she's like, feeding off of all of these people, off of all of these situations.
I think praying mantis would fit better. She bangs them for one night and then eats their head.
But you kill them right away, and then she holds these people on for years. I mean, think Mike started back in 2016, and he's still around. It's like a spider who, like, I gotta disagree with you, IT Goshi. A spider who's like, mummifying, like it's prey and like keeping it around for a while to eat at it later. We got to do a poll.
Someone come rescue me.
I do not feel safe.
I'm not safe.
This stream isn't for safety.
Oh boy.
It's from weird moist pleasure.
So you did that one. I don't want to hear it.
Also, partially
I will
nude.
continue to act outraged when you say moist.
There was nothing nude in that photo, really.
And there are more nude photos of her that her dad has posted.
I just want to point out that I was topless earlier, and I felt like that was more revealing.
Yeah,
I don't remember.
She and her lawyer have posted the exact same photos.
Right.
She's posted bikini photos that are way more quote unquote nude than the Halloween thing. It's just ridiculous.
Yeah.
Anyway, let's see. After a hearing in late 2023, at which Laura was represented by other counsel, not me. Wow. The court found in her favor. Well, yeah, because if you had been representing her, she probably would have lost. Wow. And granted the protective order against Clayton. After the order of protection case ended on March 26, 2024.
Clayton didn't have a lawyer, right?
What's that?
Like Clayton was pro se.
That's correct.
So come on.
Well, no. I mean, that was also Judge Duty.
Yeah.
Right. So, right. I mean, but he didn't have anyone there to object or I mean, he did.
It's a double whammy. You got some judge that doesn't understand the case, and then you got Clayton up by himself.
Right.
Tough times.
Yeah.
After the order of protection case ended on March 26th, Clayton's attorney filed a motion in the order of protection case requesting relief from the order based on fraud. In short, Clayton's attorney claimed Laura was never pregnant and thus ineligible for a protective order, which generally requires a prior prenatal or romantic relationship between the parties. To help respond to that issue, I entered my appearance in the OOP case on April 9, 2024. However, the OOP case was later consolidated with the paternity case, so I filed nothing further in the order of protection case after my initial appearance. Okay. Fine.
And?
Turning to the specific claims in Redacted's complaint, she appears primarily focused on the paternity case between Laura and Clayton. Based on her language, it is clear she's a member of the JFC cult, which I previously described. Her complaint is essentially nothing but a copy-pasted list of JFC cult talking points. There's talking points, which have been shared online.
Nobody told me. We've been off to
if you would go to the meetings and pay your dues, then you would know.
I'm so
Lauren, you're late.
I'm so in the bad graces of the cult. Oh boy.
Your check bounced.
In case this isn't obvious, the JFC cult sees me as a threat to their goal of obtaiing justice for Clayton. Actually, that's wrong.
An asset. He has been an asset for.
Yeah.
I won't say us because I don't think that we're a cult. I think people like trying to find justice and following the evidence. But yeah, he's been actually a huge help to Clayton's side.
Yeah, he's fucking up this case left and right.
And so thank you, David.
So these complaints are presented solely for the purpose of harassing me and trying to interfere with my representation of Laura. Dude, the hearing is over.
Does he want some cheese with that wine?
You don't need to represent your client anymore. You lost. There's nothing to interfere with.
What kind of cheese?
Hell? What is he saying?
He probably eats fucking American cheese as the slices.
I like American cheese. You take that back.
Well, what's a bad cheese?
There is no bad cheese.
I mean, that's like the tramp stamp of cheeses is probably the
what?
American cheese slices.
That makes sense. I do like it.
Oh boy.
Correct me if I'm wrong.
Oh, to the extent I can understand Redacted's claims, here's my response to each point. Okay, and then he goes through the points. I'll let somebody else.
No, I'll go back
carry
to
on.
Reading. We're good. I'm just okay. Releasing sealed documents. Redacted makes several references suggesting I somehow violated a court order by publishing sealed or confidential information. Here are a few general examples quoted from her charge, all of which are completely conclusory and unsupported. Sorry, I had to burp. 1, violating the rules of releasing sealed documents without court permission.
Check.
2, releasing sealed documents without court permission. Is that not the same thing?
Right.
3, breaching confidentiality and contempt of court by unauthorized release of sealed documents. I'm sensing a pattern here. Instances of releasing sealed photos, medical records, and videos on social media. Where's the lie?
Right. Check.
A video depicting Clayton Echard's deposition, which was sealed in the Owens v. Echard case, was allegedly made public before the trial scheduled for June 10th.
This is true. I've seen it. And it wasn't out of my Dropbox. It was out of Laura's Dropbox.
And Judge Mana, in her wording in the clip we watched recently, did say any exhibits, as well, between the parties or for the other party. So I believe that was a violation. So why don't you explain that one and instead of just saying she's wrong? As I previously explained in response to the charge from Dr. Deans, there is no court order sealing anything or otherwise preventing the disclosure of pleadings. I mean, we all heard that, right?
Yeah.
Transcripts, depositions, or records filed in the case. This is a popular JFC talking point, but that is completely false. What?
Okay. He goes back to the status hearing video, and he takes it and he spins it as if it means something other than what the judge actually said. And I think multiple YouTubers have gone through that line by line, word by word. Mm-hmm. Isn't it nice that he has all these bar complaints where he can just take, he doesn't have to do it all over and over again. He can
copy and paste.
Isn't that nice for him? Mm-hmm. That he has so many bar complaints, he can just be really efficient.
He just has like bar complaint template.
Yeah, exactly.
Word 93 on his computer.
Oh my God.
Yeah, Clippy is keeping track of everything here for him.
I think that this excites him. Like, it's probably in a folder labeled taxes on his desktop. You know what I mean?
Things that excite me. That's what the folder is called.
Fiduciary duties.
Oh my goodness. Okay. On the contrary, as I previously explained while Laura was representing herself pro se, she filed a motion on September 14th asking the court to seal the entire record. That request was denied by minute entry order dated October 18th. Yes, but that doesn't mean she didn't say, don't share these things. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. All right. After Laura retained counsel, the one before me, you can say Corey's name, bro. Wow.
Apparently he left such a bad taste in his mouth he doesn't utter his name anymore.
Maybe he doesn't want the bar talking to Corey.
Right. If he says Corey 3 times, a new complaint will be filed. All right. Motion for confidentiality and preliminary protective order filed on January 17th. A copy of this motion is attached as Exhibit A. That motion expressly asks for an order allowing depositions and other discovery-related materials to be marked confidential and protected from public disclosure. Okay, but just because that motion was denied doesn't mean she didn't say not to share certain exhibits. So this is kind of moot. And he is highlighting selected parts of this to make himself look better. I'm going to skip that because I'm just going to tell you right now, you're a piece of shit. So on February 15th, the court issued an order denying this request in its entirety. A copy of that order is attached as Exhibit B. Congratulations. Your point is still stupid. All right. Aside from these 2 separate motions filed by Laura asking the court to seal the record and allow parties to keep discovery materials confidential, both of which were denied. Okay. Clayton never asked the court for similar relief. So because Clayton never filed a motion means that you should be able to ignore what the judge said.
I also think it's pretty normal for, like, he wants the truth to be exposed, so you don't want it sealed, but you also don't want things, I guess, I mean, on either side it could be applicable, to be leaked, like the medical documents. I can see that. That's fair to say, like, right. Hey, wait until they're in the filing to, like, share the shit. Mm-hmm. There's, like, I don't, what, he's said nothing sandwich.
Nothing sandwich with American cheese.
With the plastic still on.
Oh God. Ew.
And you can't tell the difference.
And today is the use by date.
To me, even if he's dropping something outside of the docket and it's not technically illegal, it's still a dick move. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. So to me, that's the fundamental problem, is he doesn't understand, like, when you include victim 0 and don't redact it from the document you throw up on Twitter, maybe it's not illegal, but you're just a jerk for doing it.
Yeah.
Sorry, 1 second, just finishing this. It's a very important text. It's about how I like to wear stretch pants.
Oh,
Anyways,
on your arms.
Sometimes.
No sexting during the live stream, Lauren.
Whoa,
Goodness.
sir.
What are you wearing right now?
I haven't even talked to your mom today. What are you
Jake
talking
from
about?
State Farm.
Oh.
She misses you.
She's clingy.
Stage 5 clinger.
Like 3. Stage 3. All right. We're gonna go ahead and skip this babble because that's not really okay. This probably explains why the trial court repeatedly denies Laura's request for confidentiality/privacy, and why the court specifically rejected her request to keep deposition transcripts confidential.
It must say she's lying, and we need to expose her.
Oh God. In fairness, there is a single sentence buried in a minute entry order issued in February before I appeared in the case.
Darn it.
It was still your fucking job to know this.
Why does it are most lawyers like this? Oh, this happened before. I mean, is it plausible deniability? Like, or are they supposed to be looking at all the materials? I mean
you would have
You're
to be
responsible for your client's presentation going forward, so you have to know everything that was said prior.
Right. Unless you're trying to it's a shit show and you're trying to protect yourself. I don't know how legally it works, but
which seems to reflect some sort of informal agreement between the parties.
No, that's an order. That's
yeah.
The minute entry order will reflect that is an order given by a judge that you are meant to comply with.
Didn't she say it on the video
Yes.
as well? I mean, it's 2 places, and one is very public on my channel, very visible.
Yeah, right.
I was asking if we had that written minute entry order because it should be on the docket as well, but
I don't know. If anybody has that, please let us know.
He keeps saying, his entire argument seems to be like, well, I never released any of Clayton's medical records. And it's like, well, Clayton's not going to have any medical records.
That's also not the wording she used in the beginning, right?
Yeah, for sure. Exactly. Because he twists the meaning of it.
Mm-hmm.
Right. Okay. I'm getting a slight hint from the panel that they do not like David Gingras. Well, I would like him if he wasn't such an asshole.
I don't know who he is as a person, so I can't say that I do or don't like him. I don't agree with what he's doing in regards to this case.
Rob says no one on the panel does not dislike DG. They're just pointing out the issues based on all the information that he's provided, his unprofessional behavior. Check out his blog. So that's kind of echoing a little bit what you said. So I'm just going to say that does not reflect my opinion. I don't like the guy. Why? Because I don't like how he treated Mike. So that tells me all I need to know about the man. If he had not done that, we'd be having a different conversation. I mean, I'd still be clowning on him, but it would be a different conversation.
Yeah, I mean, it's interesting because he's a real jerk on Twitter and in his blogs.
Mm-hmm.
But then, at the hearing, he was just sort of, I don't know, meek and had bad time management. And he didn't come across as this jerk that he comes across
and I heard
on Twitter.
He was shaking. His hands were shaking before he was speaking.
I don't know about that. I didn't notice that, but I
Maybe
will.
He was nervous.
I mean, I will give him that. That's really, to me, that's not a big deal. I have tremors just all the time. And
I mean, but if he says he's representing all these big people, he was on Dr. Phil. Well, take a beta blocker, or if you're presenting in front of people, then you should be used to that. But he knows he's presenting a shit case with a shit client that he's going to lose.
Well, I mean, I just to say, I also, like I said, I have tremors in my hands, so my hands shake a lot, and it's because of meds that I take. So you never really know why that's happening to somebody, and it's embarrassing because I have to explain to people sometimes, hey, I'm not nervous, I swear. But yeah, so I try not to judge that too much.
I'm judging it.
Fair enough.
Not for you.
I'm not judging you.
You're judging me.
I'm not judging you.
Okay. Somebody said alcohol withdrawal. I don't know. Again, I'm not going to jump to that conclusion just because there's like a bunch of different reasons medically why somebody might have, shaking hands or tremors. Alcohol withdrawal is one of them. Yes. Do I know for a fact that that's what that is? No, of course not.
Representing a lying client is another one, right?
God damn it. I don't know what diagnostic code that fits under, but sure.
666.
Oh, jeez.
Okay. All right. Clayton never disclosed any medical records, blah, blah, blah. So he's arguing that doesn't matter. Witness tampering, threatening to have witness arrested. Okay, well, we know he did that.
Yep.
This is another. I started to say this and I almost said that. Kind of like gruel. This is another popular JFC cult talking point. They claim I committed witness tampering because I threatened to have a witness arrested.
Well, yeah, that would.
That's a complete sentence. Yeah,
sounds about right.
And it was literally in front of like 50 plus people. So
yeah, here's what actually happened. I bet you he does not mention that the judge had already ruled on this issue.
Yep.
But okay. During the course of discovery, Clayton disclosed that he intended to call a trial witness named Mike Maricini. Mr. Maricini is an ex-boyfriend of Laura who resided in San Francisco. Laura dated Mr. Maricini for approximately 2 years in 2016 to 17. The entirety of Clayton's disclosure regarding Mr. Maricini are shown here. This witness is expected. Oh my God, I can't talk. Okay. This witness is expected to testify about his prior interactions with petitioner, her alleged 2 pregnancies during their relationships, and the subsequent litigation. Okay. And?
Now we know is like 5 pregnancies and
6 abortions later.
Yeah.
God damn it. As I would in any case, while preparing the case for trial, I reached out to the contact person listed for Mr. Maricini, a lawyer named Randy Sue Pollock, to ask if I could interview Mr. Maricini to learn more about his expected testimony. After speaking with Ms. Pollock, she told me she had never heard of the Owens v. Echard case, and that she did not believe Mr. Maricini would appear at trial. Okay. And I asked Ms. Pollock to confirm this to me in writing. On April 19th, she did in the email shown below. Mr. Gingras, my client will not be testifying. Okay.
If she hadn't heard about it, how would she know if he was testifying or not?
I don't fucking know. A few weeks later, just days before the disclosure/discovery cutoff, Clayton's counsel informed me that, in fact, contrary to Ms. Pollock's written representation to me, Mr. Maricini would appear and testify at trial.
So someone can't change their mind?
Right, and also before the disclosure/discovery cutoff.
Right.
What is your problem?
So what the fuck?
In response, I explained there were several problems with this.
Oh.
First, Clayton had failed to disclose anything about the expected substance of Mr. Maricini's testimony. I think they did. Second, I noted Laura had.
I didn't need for them to explain his expected testimony because I watched all the Dave Neal videos. Maybe if you'd done that, you'd know what Mike was going to talk about. God damn it.
Also, I just want to remind everyone that the only reason Woodnick was allowed to legally bring these other men into this case is because Gingras mentioned them in the motion in limine. That was the door that opened this whole can of worms for Laura and Gingras.
Thank you for the 2. Drink every time Dingus uses the word cult.
I like my liver.
Yeah.
It is.
So wait, so Laura pulls on Gingras' sleeve and says, make sure these guys can't testify or get deposed. And so he does. And then they're like, okay, let's bring him in.
Yeah. And then he probably is not going to mention that he was a subpoenaed witness. Let's see if he mentions that.
I doubt it. If we did that, we would all die at the ripe age of whatever age we are. So, okay. Oh God, I saw Vewa and I had that little anger thing. Anyways, a few weeks later, just days before discovery disclosure cutoff, blah blah blah. In response, I explained there were several problems with this. First, Clayton just failed to disclose anything about the expected substance of Mr. Maricini's testimony. Second, I noted Laura had a current valid DVRO issued against Mr. Maricini by the San Francisco County Superior Court, and that this order did not contain any exception for in-person testimony.
It's not true. It's
If his claim here is true, why didn't the feds cart Mike away on
exactly
June
the
10th?
police when they got there? Why didn't they take him away?
Right.
Yeah, what the heck? He's making claims that didn't hold no water.
Right. Third, I explained that under federal law, the Violence Against Women Act, or VAWA, and I fucking hate when he or Laura use this because it is seriously, you want to talk about exploitation. Okay. It would be a serious federal crime for Mr. Maricini to engage in interstate travel for the purpose of violating a DVRO. But that wasn't the purpose.
Mm-mm.
And this is why I don't like David. Anyone who said that in the comments, no, I do not like him because of that shit right there. And it's not just about his conduct in the case. I do not like the man. Do I hate him? No, because he's not that important, but I don't like him.
Yeah, this is very strange.
Yeah. Fourth, I explained that the California DVRO could not be modified or ignored by the Arizona courts. Who would make a ruling on that? A judge? Maybe?
Well, it'd have to be a California-based judge, which is his point.
Okay. Well, I don't like it. VAWA expressly required the Arizona court to enforce the California DVRO as written. Okay. Requiring full faith and credit be given to interstate protective order.
But again, it's all moot because he was subpoenaed.
Right, yeah. Okay. Despite raising those concerns, I told Mr. Woodnick I would be happy to work with him to obtain permission from the California court that issued the DVRO so that Mr. Maricini could testify. Was this before he released Mike's testimony?
Doubtful.
Or deposition, sorry. I am currently also licensed to practice in California.
Oh, wonderful.
I'm so sorry to everyone out west, everywhere. Okay. The only condition was I asked Mr. Woodnick to comply with his disclosure obligations by providing me with information regarding Mr. Maricini's anticipated trial testimony, which Mr. Woodnick was already required to provide pursuant to Rule 49 of the Rules of Family Law Procedure. Mr. Woodnick rejected that request, leaving us at an impasse. Is that what happened? I feel like that's not what happened.
No, and Mike said that he was willing to talk with Gingras until he posted, what was it?
Oh, yeah, I remember the email. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. So, I mean, again, not taking responsibility for what
what I recall is that Woodnick told Gingras over email what people were going to testify about, and Gingras was like, well, that's not good enough.
Right.
That's not exactly the same as Woodnick rejecting the request.
Right.
A little disingenuous here.
Surprising.
Gemma says MM is allowed to go to court for DVRO. DG sucks. He's definitely is not a credible 1A lawyer. Huh. What's a 1A lawyer? I don't know.
First Amendment.
Oh, okay. Sorry. That makes sense.
Unfortunately, I'm going to have to back out. It's already midnight.
Oh, yeah, no problem. Thanks for coming.
Yep. Yeah, thank you.
See you, everyone.
Have a good one, man.
Bye.
All right. So we're going to try to work through the rest of this. Let me see. We're on page 8 right now. Oh, my goodness. Yeah. Oh, no, these are the exhibits start here. So I think let's skim through the rest of this. And then there's a part 2, but I think it's mostly exhibits.
Well, wait, does he have anything else to say about the mic?
Yeah. I just got to go back to it. Give me one sec. Okay, so part 2 is all exhibit. Okay, so we can get through the rest of this real quick.
Okay. I can read 2 if you want.
Yes. Where did we started here?
An impasse, yep.
Yeah, you can go ahead from there to like the bottom of this page.
Okay. After I was unable to reach any agreement with Mr. Woodnick, I filed an emergency request for a hearing with the trial court so these issues could be discussed. That request was denied without explanation. In order to preserve the issues, on June 3rd, 2024, I filed a pretrial statement attached as Exhibit C, in which these same issues were discussed. See pages 9 through 11. In the pretrial statement, I explained it would be a crime for Mr. Maricini to violate the California DVRO, and that any violation of the order would subject him to arrest. Do you want me to read that box?
Yeah, go ahead.
Okay. Accordingly, if Mr. Maricini appears at trial without permission from the California court that issued the original order, he will be committing a crime and will be subject to arrest pursuant to bullshit. This issue has been reported to court security by undersigned counsel, who has requested that Mr. Maricini be arrested if he violates the DVRO as the law requires. There is absolutely nothing unethical or inappropriate about any part of these remarks. As the California DVRO order attached as Exhibit D states, the order complies with VAWA and is subject to automatic mandatory enforcement in all 50 states. The order further contains exactly the same warning that redacted points to as alleged witness tampering. It notes Mr. Maricini is subject to arrest for any violation of the order, and interstate travel for the purpose of violating the order may result in him being charged with a federal crime. Clearly, this is nothing improper about me providing the same warning to Mr. Maricini or his counsel that the DVRO itself contains. And then that's fine. So warnings and notices to restrain person and whatever. If you do not obey this order, you can be arrested and charged with a crime. If you do not obey this order, you can go to jail or prison and or pay a fine. I'll do the highlighted. If you travel to another state, or you can be charged with a federal crime.
Okay. I was trying to look up like VAWA in terms
He leaves
of...
out with the intention of disobeying the order. That's not why he traveled.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I get it's always missing context.
Also, does he explain? I guess we still have. Wait, does he just move on?
Yes.
So he does not explain like Mike was there. He didn't get arrested.
He had a subpoena.
He didn't get arrested by the state of Arizona. He didn't get arrested.
The judge already ruled on this.
He didn't get arrested at all. This is like when MedChill goes up there and says, like, you know, you're either pregnant or you're not, because at the end of the day, there's a baby. Like, and if there's a baby, it doesn't matter.
Also,
Mike didn't get arrested, so it doesn't matter.
I've delivered 30,000 babies a year since the Jurassic period.
Well, I mean, that's. I don't know about that.
Had many quintuplets.
Versus, like, I don't even know what to say.
I mean, the point is, if he writes this whole thing about why everything he did was right, but then he doesn't explain how it's still right when Mike doesn't get arrested. Like, come on.
Oh yeah, and he doesn't mention. So MM here says that Gingras said that Laura was willing to talk with. I'm adding a little bit with Laura on the phone. Or sorry, Laura was willing to talk with Michael on the phone about the whole thing.
Yeah, that's all very suspicious.
Mm-hmm. And then Juliana says what is it? VAWA? I said VAWA is Violence Against Women Act. What do you need to know about it?
Yeah, I had professors in grad school because I did criminology, so we talked a lot about VAWA. They always called it VAWA. That's how they said it. So, but yeah, I don't know anything pertaining to subpoenas in VAWA. So,
the tilted lawyer commented.
Tilted lawyer's page turn too. He's not even correct in his recitation of law. Omar, what are you doing? You want to come hang out? Oh my gosh.
It just blows my mind because he makes all these things like, I was totally fine to tell him he's going to be arrested. Well, my next question, if I was this bar person, would be like, well, was he arrested? Like,
right. Did they find him in violation?
And if not, why? Because that's what you're leaving out of your nice document here, David.
Well, he'll say it's because Clayton's a famous former Bachelor lead.
Oh, boy. Well, Mike isn't.
Starstruck.
The hell?
Omar, I see your comment. And I can in 10 minutes. If we're still going and you're available in 10 minutes, then let me know and I'll send you the link. We're going to try to get through the rest of this fairly quickly because it's past midnight in my time zone, at least. Juliana says, pronounces SN, pronounce it. Gotcha. Okay.
It rhymes with Jawa from Star Wars.
Wait, Jawa?
You don't know what a Jawa is?
I thought you meant Jabba the Hutt.
No, a Jawa. Isn't it those like the little sand people?
Yeah.
Sand?
The little guys that sell C-3PO and R2-D2 to Luke Skywalker at the start of the movie.
Yeah. Oh, dude, I didn't even know that. I thought you were referring to Jabba the Hutt and saying his name wrong. I was about to clown on you so hard. Jesus.
I don't know whatever show you guys were talking about earlier, but I know Star Wars.
Yeah, I've seen them all, but I don't really know them like the back of my hand. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
I also haven't seen like the spin-offs, so Just saying, that's probably important. Okay. Number 3, posted a video of his client lifting her dress above her boobs, which she claimed was revenge porn, but somebody else did it, but okay. Okay. Redacted charge contains several vague comments about information I posted about this case, including certain identified photos/videos. Redacted claims one such video purportedly shows his client, Laura Owens, in a manner that may be deemed inappropriate for public disclosure. Okay. She further explains, and why is it in all caps?
Is it in all caps in the complaint?
Gingras posted a video of his client lifting her dress above her boobs, showing her blue bra and black panty lines.
I'm traumatized. Someone in the chat help me. I need a hug.
Just slowly, like, dip down past the camera.
Okay. Ballerina's like, oh my god, I can't believe you're still here, Kelly. She says, Lauren, I found an edible.
She's gonna be here. She's gonna be here for hours after the stream ends.
Oh boy.
She's gonna be rocking and sucking her thumb after that.
We've covered so much tonight, guys.
It's true. It's dark outside at Bruce's house again. All right.
Dear.
What on earth? What on earth is Redacted talking about? And why on earth would anybody, or would any sane lawyer, post a video of his client lifting her dress above her boobs?
She did lift the bottom of her dress above her boobs. So happened.
MM, thank you for the 5. Didn't Dingus email MM and say that Laura wanted to meet with him when he didn't threaten him? I think it was talk on the phone, but yes, I forgot about that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah. She wanted to talk to him directly.
Yeah.
Despite her fear. So.
And then funny, like, also all the, I know you probably talked about it before, but all the claims that she's made against Mike, and then we have Greg, and she says in, I don't know if it was filing or whatever, but that he was like basically the person she was the most afraid of.
Like way more dangerous, yeah.
Yes, exactly.
Greg the teddy bear.
Right.
Who has no computer hacking skills.
I thought she said she was the most afraid of Mike.
She said Greg. Multiple things.
I mean, yeah, well, this is true, but there was a filing like in dealing with Greg in that case that she that he was the most dangerous like person that she had known, been involved with. I don't know how it was worded.
Mm-hmm.
But she said the same thing about Mike. She pulls the same playbook over and over again.
God, what does she have to say about Tony Robbins? All right, MM, thank you again for the 2 to Bruce's therapist fund. Well, I'm going to take that, and I'm going to get him the shittiest therapist I can find.
Wow.
Clicker AK, thank you for being a member for 2 months. Exactly what I needed tonight.
Whoever Laura's therapist is, you can get them from Bruce.
Thank you, Clicker AK. Yes, exactly. Does anybody have a number for the therapist hotline?
Can you imagine her talking to a therapist?
She would lie the whole time, and they
wouldn't. Actually, yes, I can't imagine that because people lie to the therapist all the time, and it's bogus. But
yeah,
right. I've read some interesting notes on the people and their therapy clients.
And you're like, All
right. Anyways, we got past the shouting, and we got past this. Here's why. Please don't shout again, David, because then I have to shout. Because on January 3rd, Clayton's counsel, Mr. Woodnick, Tree Phallus, filed a motion for sanctions in the paternity case. I hope everybody saw the Tree Phallus tweet. Otherwise, that just sounded really weird. Sorry, Mr. Greg, if you ever see this.
It's probably on my phone.
In that pleading, which he later withdrew, but not before the JFC cult seized on it. What do you mean, seized on it? What does that mean?
I think it's called, like, going to the document desk and receiving a copy of the document.
Okay, because I'm thinking of somebody like getting they're like they have the paper in their happy little hands and they're like gyrating on it. Like, what's
Yeah,
happening here?
We're not getting Nick Cage to steal the Declaration of Independence and Greg Woodnick's withdrawn filing.
Okay, I hear what you're saying, and that's logical, but I raise you the person whose document we're reading.
Also, the reason like the sanctions were withdrawn are not like for the reason he's trying to present.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, it was literally to avoid more of his bullshit. And that's like the only reason.
The class of 83 says the Zoom therapist and they're not open on Sundays.
I went to therapy
Mr.
on June
Woodnick.
2nd.
I went to therapy on June 2nd.
July 2nd?
July 2nd, guys. July 2nd. Get it right. I mean, I get that she doesn't get her dates right, but you guys, I hold you to a higher standard.
It's late.
All right. I know. It's only 9 o'clock for you, pussy.
I'm old. I need my beauty rest.
Dude, you're like 25. It
looks like you've been missing it for the last 20 years.
These antlers don't. What?
What to which part? We've all said some really weird things.
20 years. Oh no.
Well, I've missed so much I can't even show my face. So.
Okay. Mr. Woodnick accused Laura of appearing in court wearing a fake moon bump to falsely make it appear she was pregnant.
Yes.
Okay, we can skip the rest of this. No, I'm just kidding. Mr. Woodnick claimed this happened during a videotaped court appearance that took place on November 2nd, again before I was Laura's counsel. Interestingly, the November 2nd hearing is the one that she got taken down on your channel, yes?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And it had like 10 to 15,000 views when it was removed. So like a lot of people had been watching it and she could see that.
Isn't that also after he claims she miscarried?
Which time?
He says late October.
No, earlier in this document.
Oh, yes. Probably.
He says October, November, but he doesn't say.
Okay.
Yeah, he said like late October, early November, something like that.
Sorry, I haven't figured out which multiverse timeline we're in.
So here's the thing. If you were as big as she was in this hearing, and you're not wearing a moon bump, and you're pregnant, but you miscarried right around here, or right after here.
Don't you just stay fat?
Where's the fetal death certificates? Where are the corpses? You're not going to reabsorb something after November.
Don't you just stay
None
fat?
of this makes sense.
She had her giant moon bump on.
Wait, what?
Like after she claimed she miscarried, didn't she have the moon bump on?
I don't know if she had a moon bump or not, but I mean, it's certainly something suspicious. I mean, I think it's a valid hypothesis.
I mean, there are pictures of her looking pregnant and then riding a horse with a flat stomach. So,
yeah, how do you do that?
Maybe the
Photoshop.
The babies were sleeping flat on their stomachs.
On a video. She's on video, right?
Well, there are apps you can send pictures of your, say she has gluten belly. Okay. So she's already like, distended or whatever. And then she sends it to someone on an app and says like, there are apps that will make you for free, even some that will make you look pregnant. So, but you can see the distortions. I remember there was a post on Reddit about it, seeing distortions in like the frame of the door. When she would turn, it would switch from one side to the other. It's obviously photoshopped in some capacity.
In a video. I was thinking more of the Zoom court video.
Yeah, well, that too, but I can't remember. I guess I could give my channel a quick look and see which one it is.
No, do it, please. I have to go to the bathroom.
Okay.
I'll be right back.
Just read. I'm searching.
Okay.
Am I alone, guys?
I'm here.
Guys, I'm alone and it's dark.
All by myself.
Oh my god.
I have to go to the bathroom. Shut up.
Oh dear. What do we got? Yes, this is an astonishing allegation to make. I mean, if you have a hypothesis, you could make the allegation. I think this They said that because they wanted to subpoena her Amazon.com records to see if she bought a moon bump. Seems reasonable to me. Mr. Woodnick made it as shown below to save space. The entire 18-page motion is not attached. Okay, fine. And then he highlights during the proceedings on November 2nd. Let's see. Petitioner wore a fake stomach moon bump to appear pregnant and claimed with no scientific support she was 24 weeks pregnant with respondent's twins and due on February 14th. Yeah, that's true. They do claim she wore the fake stomach.
Mm-hmm.
Now, moon bump. Yeah, I don't know. That's true. And then what, as it turns out, Mr. Woodnick's moon bump story was completely false. He simply lied to the court about this point in an effort to make Laura appear crazy. I don't know. It certainly looked strange to me because when you watch that November 2nd video, everybody kept talking about like, well, I've been pregnant and that doesn't look like pregnant stomach. Everybody said, it's moving in a way a normal stomach wouldn't move. It's going up too high.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I think the theory that it could have been a moon bump was perfectly valid as a theory. I don't know. Respondent obtained the injunction against harassment during the proceedings. Yeah, claimed. I mean, the other part is correct. Claimed with no scientific support she was 24 weeks pregnant. That's true. Yeah. Interesting. All right. What else do we got here, guys? I can't even put comments up on the screen. Joanna says, Bruce, it was really tight and up into her armpits. Yeah, it looked really suspicious. I might sort of agree with Gingras here that they probably shouldn't have just said petitioner wore the fake stomach. Unless you absolutely know that she wore the fake stomach. They could have said petitioner may have worn a fake stomach. That would be more substantively correct. Let's see, what else do we got? What do you got, guys? It was only 8 months. What was this? Only 8 months ago? November 2nd, 2023? No, that would have been January.
It would be like 9 months.
9 or 10 months. Yeah. This is like 10 months ago. But that's still, we're not even a year into this since this hearing. That's pretty amazing.
I mean, I can link the November 2nd video.
I don't need to see the video. I'm more interested to see what he says on the next page here. I mean, I'm sure he's going to say like, well, we had to post this video to prove that she wasn't wearing a moon bump, and prove this this motion is fake.
Mm-hmm. I mean, I have it open on my computer, but I can't stream it. But I could read the next part.
Yeah.
Should I?
I don't know. Let's see. Kind of pondering this. So I think, I think the thing that's interesting is just the double standard. Like, if he posted a photo of her lifting her shirt up or whatever to show her belly in isolation, like, okay, I think the double standard is really like how much Laura complained about when she posted a photo in a sports bra and then put it on Reddit in a Dropbox. And then, somebody made a meme of it. She complained that it was like revenge porn or something.
Mm-hmm.
But then she doesn't complain when her lawyer does it. So it's just sort of a double standard, I guess.
That's foreplay, baby.
Oh, dear. Maybe.
No, it is. It just goes along with the whole thing of like, if they think it's okay, then like fine. But if someone else does the same thing, it's like, no, that's not okay.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
All right. So, did you miss me?
Yes.
Oh yeah.
I thought so. Rob told me to wash my ass. I did not do that. Sorry.
So this is
Higgins.
interesting. Only a crazy person would wear a fake pregnancy belly in court.
Agreed.
No, well, thanks for that scientific analysis, Gingras. I would have reported this false statement by Mr. Woodnick to the state bar as a clear violation, but I understand the bar has an unwritten policy against considering complaints filed by lawyers and pending litigation.
He doesn't have any proof that it's not true.
Well,
this is awesome.
I mean,
and also he wasn't there. He didn't see it. He claims he didn't even see the video, right? Like, so how can he even make these statements?
Maybe. In any case, this cruel gambit worked exactly as Mr. Woodnick intended. The cult seized on the story and repeatedly spread Mr. Woodnick's moon bump claim far and wide. Actually, people were speculating that it was a moon bump far, far earlier than Mr. Woodnick's filing.
Yes.
So his claim here is incorrect.
Yeah.
Because whether or not Woodnick had ever filed talking about how she might have faked a moon bump in November 2nd, that's what everybody in the public who watched the November 2nd hearing was saying.
Mm-hmm.
They weren't saying it because Woodnick did a filing. They were saying it because that was their hypothesis.
And some of them, many of them have been pregnant and they know what a belly would look like, how a belly would move.
Yeah. So, and the point really wasn't whether it was a moon bump or an Amazon Basics bump or like a pillow, okay, or too much gluten. The point was people were saying that doesn't look like an authentic pregnancy. Mm-hmm. That is the point.
Mm-hmm. Mic drop.
I accidentally read ahead to the part where he's talking about moon bump. An anonymous cult member okay.
Wow.
Even created a new Twitter account mocking Laura, showing a photo of her crying while being dragged away by police.
That is a funny meme.
Yeah. I mean, she gets mad when you use the nice photo of her. What are you supposed to do, man? You can't have it both ways.
The tilted lawyer said, "I'm here if you need me." Who doesn't need him?
Okay, hang on. Let me finish reading this book. All right. And yes, Omar, I'll listen to your link in just a second. And suggested locking her up. See, and then he links to the Moon Bump Twitter account. Note the link to justiceforclayton.com. Also note that the Moon Bump Twitter account has tweeted 980 times about this case. You're starting to sound a little obsessive, David. All right, somebody read this while I send Omar the thing.
As the old saying goes, a lie can travel halfway around the world while the truth is still putting on its shoes. In this instance, this is exactly what happened. After Laura hired me, after suffering months of damage caused by Mr. Woodnick's cruel and patently false moon bump story being spread online, it was spread online, as speculation way before Woodnick's filing.
Before. Yeah.
Come on. Let's see. So that's wrong. Laura asked me to help stop the damage. Ooh. PR Gingras to the rescue.
Laura emailed literally every lawyer in Arizona, and I was the only one to take her up on it.
Maybe. To do this, Laura asked me to publish a video she took of herself 24 hours after the court appearance in which she allegedly wore a fake belly. Now, my question is, why did she take this video 24 hours later? That's a little weird.
To try to prove.
Oh, I went to court yesterday. Better take a selfie video today.
Try to, because she probably saw online that people were saying that it was fake and she's trying to prove it. So she hurried up and sent it to an app where thankfully she removed the watermark before she posted it. And then ta-da, here's what we have.
You think people were talking about how fake it looked within 24 hours? Maybe.
Was that one live? Could we watch that one live? I can't remember.
The November one. Yeah, that was the live one because when he got Deandra,
so
she just had her face. She just had her face. So this was the earlier one where she was she was saying to the judge, "Can I show Clayton I'm totally pregnant?" So Clayton was pro se at that point. So that was the earlier one, and that was the one where Clayton was by himself, where it was live streamed and everybody did watch live because then Dave texted Clayton, and Clayton didn't know it was
exactly
screened.
Right.
Hey,
right.
Omar, what's up? Thanks for coming in.
What up, folks? How you doing?
Hey. We got a super chat here from Clicker AK. Thank you for the $10. We really appreciate you. Y'all are too much. Lauren, you're the bomb. Snitzel, you have been done dirty by Laura, and my heart hurts for that. Love you too. Bruce, you are everywhere and are awesome too. Thanks for getting me through the week. Well, thank you for being here with us, Clicker AK. We appreciate you. And Class of 83, Rob, thank you for the 2. Duty had her stand up. No further proof needed. Did he ever stand up?
That was a different one, but the same kind of thing, right?
Yeah.
Like that's interesting to point that out because Judge Duty did make her sort of stand up a little bit. And it seems like when she was in that other one with Judge Galketsis or whatever, she tried to do the same thing, but the judge was like, no.
Literally
wasn't
just
having it.
No.
That's an interesting connection.
So Omar, what is your overarching opinion about these responses?
Well, the most egregious part of it to me is because I'm a law dork, is that Gingras is talking about the DVRO stuff and like he's quoting federal law. And I'm so confused as to why he's doing that. And he's trying to make it as if it's like mandatory. If you break this law, then you must arrest somebody. That's just not how law enforcement works. It's not how federal law works, especially when the DVROs were issued by the states. Generally, the feds, they stay out of the state's business unless they have a reason to get involved. And they wouldn't have had a reason to get involved because even if you want to say that if it was a violation, the feds must act. Like I cited on my live that there's like all of these cases and statutes and rules of court that provide and allow for a subpoenaed witness to appear in any court proceedings where they've been subpoenaed, even if they have restraining orders against them. If necessary, they'll take proper precautions in civil court and criminal court, especially in criminal court. Like they got the bailiffs right there. They got law enforcement all over the place. They got tasers. They got security measures in place. It's like the safest place you could possibly be for the most part if you have a restraining order against somebody. And if you ask for it, and they did ask for it, you could be escorted to and from the building because you're afraid of whoever, no questions asked. All right, you want me to walk in your car? Walk in your car. It's not that big of a deal. And the fact that he's citing this BAWA law, which is more commonly used in immigration, it really doesn't have any point when you're litigating issues on DVROs. It makes me question. I got to tell you, when you are writing anything to the state bar because of a complaint against you, I would think that you would be minding your P's and Q's when it comes to the law that you're reciting. The fact that he's citing federal statutes and federal laws for state-issued mandates just tells me that he has a fundamental misunderstanding of litigation at the state level, a fundamental misunderstanding of how restraining orders work. And he's representing his client in a very high-profile case. I would wonder if it would raise the ire of the state bar regarding his competence to practice in this arena, given his response to the state bar and that he's incorrectly citing law in a way that you wouldn't do if like you were a second-year attorney. He's like 20 years in. And so like this whole time, it's been months and months of watching this guy and how he practices and how he writes. How he writes is atrocious. I mean, you know, I guess you could make for some theater allowances in his writing style, whatever, fine. But his recitations of law is unforgivable. Just as an attorney, as a colleague, Gingras is a colleague, whether or not I like it. We don't practice in the same state, but we have the same ethical standards to our clients, to everybody else. The most egregious thing about that complaint, it's not so much all of the other stuff, but it's the witness intimidation aspect of it, and the fact that it appears that the guy might not have a solid comprehension of basic civics. That would alarm me the most. Sorry for going on a rant, but I've been thinking about it ever since I did my live, and I'm like, how is this guy getting away with just reciting shit like this? How come nobody's not calling him out on his bullshit? Because it's so obviously incorrect. It's so obviously wrong. And it's, I don't know, man, it gets my blood boiling.
Yeah. Well, why do you think, what's the answer to that? You think, why is nobody calling him out on that?
I think that they're just letting him dig his own hole. Like, he's been filing these motions and he's been losing every single one. And we've been able to call out and predict the exact outcomes for every single one of these motions. It was like, even the one where he thought he got his point. Yeah, okay, well, good point. But it's like so tangential to the actual merits of the decision that to be insignificant, then it's still going to get denied. And it wasn't even close. And now he is being investigated by the state bar. He's got multiple complaints. He acknowledges there's probably going to be many more complaints, and the issues in those complaints are going to overlap. And they're asking for his written response. And most of the time, when anybody asks you for anything, you shouldn't say anything without your attorneys present. The problem is that he's an attorney, and he's used to, when he speaks, people STFU because they don't want to, he's an attorney. I guess he would know. The problem is he doesn't know. But what's worse is he doesn't know what he doesn't know. And he continues to say these things. I don't know if the bar is going to get him on like competency or anything like that. I don't know if they're going to do that. But it should raise an eyebrow at the very least why he's reciting law this way when it's just so obviously and egregiously wrong. It's like, gosh, he's been practicing for how long? It makes me wonder if like maybe it's just time for him to get out. Maybe it's time for him to wrap it up and retire because he is just making it up at this point. And sometimes I've seen it with older attorneys where they just stop trying to understand the law. They just start making shit up because it's, who gives a shit? And then they start going off on their own tangents. That feels like where Gingras is at with his career. Like he feels like he's on the way out, the way that he's just so unhinged. And, I don't know the guy personally. I don't know if he's trolling just to troll, but even when I was reading that complaint, what it felt like, very similarly to when he had initially contacted me through email, was a veiled threat to like, hey, just you can say whatever you want, but just know that I'm watching you. I will not hesitate to slap you with a defamation lawsuit. Like he's literally threatening this lady with a defamation lawsuit in his response to the Arizona State Bar, which is kind of the same conduct when he was accused of intimidating witnesses in the Maricini case on June 10th. And so his conduct, there's a pattern there. It doesn't strike me as a situation where it's going to get any better. He is becoming more erratic as this thing carries on. Like this case had a certain tenor to it prior to March. And then he gets involved, and then it becomes this whole other thing. And most of it is because of the malfeasance of Gingras. I mean, Owens almost has become, in my mind, not in anybody else's, in my mind, she's almost become a sympathetic figure in that her representation has been so atrocious that it has exacerbated whatever was coming for her. It has made it 1,000,000 times worse because of him. I promise you, if I was representing her, if any other competent attorney that I know was representing her, she would have just disappeared. This would have went away. Things would have been settled. That would have been the only viable strategy for her going forward. The fact that he's just like doubled and tripled down, not only that, but threatened everybody and labeling everybody cult members and intimidating witnesses and incorrectly citing law, can't even get the state right when he's citing cases in his motions. And now he's mixing up federal and state law in his recitations to the state bar. It just makes me feel sorry for her. It's like this guy is probably selling her the Louisiana bridge, or what is that thing? The Louisiana Purchase. I'm getting my history wrong, but he's like selling her a bill of goods, and she's eating it up because he's this 20-year attorney. He was on TV once on the Dr. Phil show, and gosh, I feel so bad for her because not because of I'm forgiving her for what she did, but this could have went a completely different way, to the extent that it's actually led to her having thoughts of harming herself. It would be tragic if something like that were to happen. And if it were to happen, I would put the blame squarely on Gingras.
Yeah, we've reviewed his blog post before where he seems to just be manipulating, that information and using it for his own PR.
Yeah, and to use even
rather than trying to help his client.
Definitely. And to use her blog post on his blog, from what I've heard, that's, well, a lot of stuff about him is atypical for a lawyer to do, but that's like definitely like a huge thing that, someone's representation would not do.
There's no attorney that I know that would blow up a case that they were getting their ass kicked in with daily blog posts and Twitter posts and attacking people and bar complaints and allowing his attorney to publicly post about the case. There's no attorney that I know that would ever represent a client and have them do that and then continue representation without the talk. Look, if you do that again, I'm going to withdraw from the case. I cannot represent you if you're going to be unhinged on the internet. You need to shut it down. Yeah. But he's doing it himself. And so then it's like, now what?
Well,
if he's going to do it, they're both going to do it then.
Mm-hmm. He's tripling down. Like in this response, he's saying, well, like I said in my other 2 bar complaint responses. And you're just like, have you ever noticed that maybe getting bar complaint after bar complaint after bar complaint is maybe a problem?
Man, I got to tell you, I've never been disciplined by the state bar.
Yeah.
But every attorney has gotten bar complaints. And when you get a bar complaint, like your license is so valuable, like you're shitting bricks, like for the entire time. Even if you know it's a bullshit complaint, you're still like, everything is like, just so you're on pins and needles with them. And you give them everything they ask for. You're completely professional. You explain it. You overdo it with them, but you take it serious. Mm-hmm. Like I also know attorneys that have like multiple bar complaints at the same time, and usually within a year or 2, they're gone because they've been disbarred or disciplined or something like that. But the good attorneys, most attorneys, normal attorneys, don't have bar complaints like that. They're not disciplined. Yeah. You might get a bar complaint every 2 or 3 years just because every attorney is going to get one. And the bar complaints could be something like, my attorney didn't do anything for me in my case. I paid him all this money and he said he was going to do this or this and that. And I ended up losing my case because you took on a client that had a losing case and they're upset about the result. You're going to get complaints like that. It's the nature of the beast, man. You put yourself on the line like that. It's the nature of the universe that you're going to have, maybe once every couple of years, you're going to get one. And so, but to be disciplined, that's a whole nother level. That's a whole nother level. It's a very public thing when an attorney is disciplined, because that goes on your state bar profile. And you'll have the case number and they'll have all the pleadings and what you're accused of. And
you should already know that, right?
Yeah. Right. And so, but for Gingras, I mean, all of this is already public and it hasn't been litigated. And a lot of that has to do with the way that he's conducted himself. So he's done Laura no favors. He's doing himself no favors. He seems like a guy that is has 1 foot out and he just doesn't give a shit. And he's going to go out with a bang, I guess.
It seems a little reckless to represent this particular client this way with no malpractice insurance.
I haven't heard any. There's a lot of attorneys that have covered this case. I've heard on Legal Advices, MG Law. I mean, myself, I can't think of any others off the top of my head, but none of them and none of the lawyers that I've seen publicly comment on this case have co-signed on the way that Gingras is handling this, because no attorney would do this. They just wouldn't. It's just so counter to what a reasonable attorney would do.
And it's like uncharted territory.
It's not even, it's chartered territory, but it's chartered in the path of professional malpractice, to the point where if she really has suicidal ideations, if she really has a mental illness, imagine if she were to harm herself. Mm-hmm. The shitstorm that would befall Gingras, because it's well documented at this point that there's a lot of people looking at him sideways for the way that he's handled this case. And if something happens to Laura on account of him, and it has anything to do with, what's going on in this case, I think that he's going to have some problems.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I think for a while there, it did seem like he kind of had her not mute, obviously, but like she wasn't doing the Medium posts and stuff like that. And then when he finally posted that blog post with her excerpts, he mentioned, I asked her not to post publicly and stuff like that. And then, of course, after he went on that vacation and he wasn't quite as available to her, is when she started going off with the Medium post every single night or every other night. And Now, I don't know, with the copyright claims and stuff like that, like I'm just kind of like, what is going on here? Like something I feel like she's kind of not necessarily unraveling, but the screws are loosening up a little bit. I feel like I don't know. It's just
Yeah.
I mean,
well, it could be a distraction technique.
I don't know. It's hard to say because Lauren, I think that you agree with me that she's probably got some kind of a mental illness.
Oh, sure.
And it very well might be the case that there's nothing that he could do or anybody could do to control her impulses to post stuff online and things like that. And to that regard, you know, maybe Gingras is not the one behind everything, and maybe it really is Laura, but to the extent that he has thrown gasoline onto those flames, then he's going to be culpable to some degree.
Well, she has she has shown some restraint in like the several months that she didn't, you know, she stopped doing her typical like posting online all the time, everything. So it kind of lends some concern to like what's going on now that she's kind of spiraling a little bit, like that he's, you know, treating this situation the way that he is. And it's kind of like, is this going to go a bad way? Like, this is not looking great.
Well, I think it coincides with, you know, their defeats. You know, I mean, these motions, there's been rulings, there's been bar complaints. Whenever stuff like this gets made public, it starts to stir them. And there hasn't been a whole lot of news. And so for a while there, I mean, it was just Laura Owens with her crazy rants, and then people started ignoring her a little bit. And then it stopped, and Gingras was having his Twitter feuds or whatever, but that was normal and not all that interesting. But then these bar complaints and, you know, becoming very public, and his motions getting denied. And, you know, he's been promising that everybody's going to pay for Laura's horses someday, and it's just not panning out that way. And his, you know, every now and then he throws a tantrum, and right now he's throwing tantrums because he is always being investigated. And he said in his response that, hey, look, just so you know, I'm in contact with Laura Owens. You know, I don't know if I'm in need of permission to do that or not, but I am. And so I'm sure that they have amongst themselves discussed things, and it stirred up some things and reinvigorated their need to be impulsive.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think it's a coincidence that we get the judge's boss's ruling, and then immediately we see these YouTube takedown notices.
Mm-hmm.
Oh,
I don't think that's,
that's what I mean.
I don't think that's any coincidence.
Yeah,
those are happening at the same time.
That's what I was kind of getting at with, I mean, I saw that today on Neal's channel, and I didn't get any strikes because it was about that one picture. It's so funny because the first time I contacted Laura, or Laura contacted me actually, the first time she ever contacted me, she announced her disappointment that I used her copyrighted picture. I was like, all right, well, fine. Then I will use screen grabs from the court feed. How about that? Where you look ridiculous and you're chugging a Red Bull or whatever. And that's what I've done. I didn't get a notice. I'm starting to feel a little bit left out, but no, but I knew. It's just hilarious. It was on the grounds of that picture and that her mom is involved, and her mom was recently subject to some scrutiny because of the dash cam footage that just came out. Now all of a sudden she's leading the charge, seemingly. I don't know if she's leading anything, but she's involved now in these copyright strikes for YouTube channels.
Yeah.
And she wrote one of mine too. Back, when was that, in June? That I got one from Elizabeth Naylor, who's Jan, and then I got one from Laura.
Oh, you did you got contacted by them?
Yeah, and they got 2 of my videos removed, which I know for a fact belong to someone else and not them. But I'm not gonna do the complaint because I'm not gonna give them my identity.
Oh, I see. I always thought that you were a guy.
Oh, well, I am. What are you talking about?
Well, the Schnitzel Ninja. I was like, that's a guy, obviously. I mean, I never thought that, but I just assumed.
I'm still not sure.
Well, you know, I mean, it could be like the female boxer thing.
Just the opposite.
God damn it.
I think you have to assume a lady if it's related to this Bachelor case. We have an old joke in Dave's channel when he does the Bachelor recaps. It's like he says, my audience is 90% women and Bruce.
I haven't seen The Bachelor, so I didn't even get into this because of that.
Yeah.
I feel the same way. I feel like my audience is exactly that same ratio, Bruce and Brad sometimes.
Yeah.
Or vice versa. But hey, folks, I gotta jump. I gotta get going. Just wanted. You were gonna say something, Schnitzel? Was it to me, or were you just like shooting the breeze?
I was gonna ask you if you thought that Laura would have a case against Gingras if you know all of this goes south, and like, what would you just like a quick summary if you could, like, what do you think could happen?
If you want my honest opinion about it, I think that she has a potentially a 7-figure civil lawsuit for the professional malpractice of David Gingras and how he has mishandled this case to such a degree that's caused her extreme emotional stress and anguish and exacerbated all of the underlying things that were going on. I think that she legitimately may have a 7-figure civil lawsuit against him.
Would it matter if, because he kind of alluded to this once, would it matter if he had, like, before he posted anything he's posted or anything like that, if, she requested it despite his, counsel otherwise, and she signed something to that effect, like, I'm like giving you permission or, whatever, or authorizing.
That's fine. You can waive things with the thing is, you have attorney-client privilege, and so you waive all kinds of things when you talk to your attorney. Yeah. I mean, you could sign things, you could sign waivers, but ultimately you're entitled to rely on the advice of your counsel. And if your counsel, through malpractice and negligence, if their representation of you is so counter to what a reasonable attorney would provide, even an average attorney, such that you obtain damages, you may have, in Laura's case, maybe even a 7-figure lawsuit against David, and he probably has the means to pay it. He's probably certainly got properties to attach.
Does it matter that she fired all the other attorneys she had that were more average, or
it could be
off the rails, quit, or she fired them?
It could be, well, that's a double-edged sword, because Gingras could raise that and state that he had an unreasonable client and she forced me to do all these things and I was doing her bidding. On the other hand, you had 3 other reasonable attorneys that refused because it was unethical and counter to what they believe an attorney should do. And it could be used as evidence of what the standard is for a reasonable attorney. Most attorneys would turn her away and not be part of it. And others would milk her for everything she has and let her lead her astray.
Well, he has said on at least one occasion that what he was posting was with her signed instruction.
Right.
So
yeah, but
I don't know.
Check it out. If you're my client and I'm representing you,
what did I do?
And you're paying me thousands and thousands of dollars to keep you safe, and I give you advice, 99% of the time you're going to heed my advice.
What if I'm the 1% stupid and I refuse?
Well, I mean, that's your right. Then you probably gotten a second or third opinion, and good on you.
What about 7 or 8 or 9?
I mean, it could be like a Sarah Boone thing. She had 8 different attorneys. None of them were willing to represent her.
Not that one, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, Laura was going down the same road, and people change attorneys for a lot of different reasons. But hey, man, you're entitled to listen to the advice of counsel. You're almost blinded by your intuition when you have an attorney who's in your ear, who touts to be this internet lawyer, this 20 years, whatever, best of the best, high-profile attorney. And when he tells you to do something, you're more than likely going to listen. So your judgment is almost impaired when you have a bad attorney because you're trusting him. And so it's really important. It's really important that you have attorneys that are boring as F, that have no desire to get in, these troll battles on Twitter.
Kind of like Woodnick, who hasn't said a single word about any of this.
That's exactly right. That's an example of a boring ass attorney, and that's exactly what you want. You want a boring attorney until the lights come on and it's game day, and then you get into court and then you handle your business. That's what Woodnick has done. He's been criticized plenty. He's been criticized a great deal from a lot of different places by a lot of different people, but he doesn't say jack shit about it. He just went in there and kicked Gingras' ass. And didn't gloat about it. He didn't say anything about it. The only thing that you heard come out of from his direction is from the pleadings that he submitted to the court. That's how a competent, good, reasonable attorney would act in this situation. And so Gingras is an outlier. I didn't know anything about Gingras until this case. I'd imagine that most people didn't know anything about Gingras in this case. It feels like he's really digging the spotlight. He strikes me, like I've said this before, he strikes me as like he was probably in drama in high school or in college or whatever, and he likes performing arts. He liked theater. He's probably in a couple of musicals. And hey, not knocking musicals, man. I'm a big fan of Jesus Christ Superstar.
Oh, I'm just imagining him in a musical.
I'm just saying, man, he's got an appetite for attention, and it is getting him into a lot of trouble. If I were his attorney, I would advise him to do so many things that he's not doing. But I don't think that he's keen to listen to anybody at this point.
No, definitely not. We're a cult, remember?
Well, that may be true. May or may not be true, but you call us whatever you want. Yeah, but he's in some hot water here, man. This could go really wrong for him. I could foresee the state bar disciplining him or strongly admonishing him. Maybe not for the reasons that you would think, but I think the witness tampering stuff is, to me, the most severe out of all of those complaints. I could give a shit about all the other stuff. It's the witness tampering that I think is going to raise the ire of the state bar. Yeah. Not only that, I think that go ahead.
Oh, sorry. Do you think it would be powerful if that witness submitted a bar complaint?
Yeah. Yes, I do. I think that would be powerful. Because like a lot of these other complaints are from third parties that, if this was like a civil lawsuit, you would just get rid of the complaints by saying, well, they lack standing. Who are these people? They're not parties to the case, not anything. They're like third-hand witnesses or whatever. But if you get like Maraschino to file a bar complaint alleging witness intimidation, now you can't ignore that if you're the state bar. Now, is it going to affect, is it going to have the effect of forcing the state bar to do anything? No. I think that right now there's plenty of evidence, and I think the best evidence they have at this point is Gingras's legal argument trying to explain why he was calling 911 on the day that Maraschino showed up. I didn't understand his reasoning. It was like, hey, so we had this attorney from years ago, so I called her to ask her if Mike was going to testify at a trial that she's not trying. And I'm like, why would he ask her? Why doesn't he just ask Woodnick? He's the one that put him on the witness list. Who is this lady again? And it's like there's so many moments like that when you read his stuff. There's like just breaks in logic that don't make any sense.
And he did tell Woodnick at the courthouse that he said, like, I see Maraschino here, I'm calling the police.
Yeah.
Like, go ahead, fucker. Sorry for cursing. Like, I guess do your worst.
Wait, what was
that? He didn't even finish the story. So he says, oh, this is why it's okay for me to say, I'm going to call the cops.
Oh, because it was in, I was instructed by a letter I got from Judge Mata's office, and it was like this throwaway boilerplate line that says, if you believe that you're in danger, contact the authorities at 911 right away. It's like, that doesn't mean anything. And he's quoting federal law to justify a state level restraining order, ignoring the dozens of cases and statutes that explain exactly why it's okay for somebody to come and honor a subpoena, even in the face of a restraining order where the victim is going to be present, because we have all these safeguards. Every courthouse in California, in Arizona, have court rules that allow for that kind of a scenario. And you know what? They're set up for that kind of thing. They got law enforcement crawling all over those places.
Yeah.
Cameras, microphones.
To me, the tell in this document is that he leaves out the money shot. So he sets up his whole argument for why it's okay to tell Mike all these things or to call 911. And then he just stops the story. If he was right, Mike should have been arrested.
You're absolutely right.
And because I was right, Bar of Arizona, Mike was arrested. But he leaves all that out.
Yeah, I think we should keep the score.
So now he's wrong.
The JFC community is wrong. Woodnick is wrong. Judge Mata is wrong. Judge Fritz is wrong.
Oh, yeah.
Law enforcement is wrong. The sheriff's department is wrong. The FBI is wrong. The bomb squad is wrong. Who else did he call?
I mean,
everybody is wrong except for him and his stupid ass theories.
Yeah.
On that note, folks, I really got to go now.
Thanks for joining.
Thank you for coming in.
Insightful to hear your.
We appreciate you.
It was my pleasure. I love you guys all. You guys have a wonderful night.
You too. Talk to you soon.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Okay, let's see. Uncle Duty didn't want to hear about the sex. Thank you, Rob, for the $2.
Oh, that's true.
Uncle Duty speaks for all of us in that situation. MM says, I think Tilted is mad. Allegedly, don't sue me. MM, I heard Omar, the Tilted lawyer, earlier refer to David Gingras as a cunt to the nth degree. So yeah, I think he's mad.
Wow.
I'm digging it.
Yeah.
Right. I wanted to mention too that, like as a reminder, that Laura had the option to ask Greg and Mike to wait outside during the hearing, and she didn't.
Right. Well, really? It gives her more power and control if they're in the room and she does something that pisses them off.
Or even like the light giggle that happened, like using that to make herself a victim again in that moment.
It's the JFC crew.
They're gonna react.
Oh man.
We've been on page 9 for like a year.
Yeah, I love that. I love that this has been up though the whole time.
Julie says,
I don't know if I do.
It's frightening.
Well, not for myself.
Let's move on. All right. Laura hired me after suffering months of damage caused by Mr. Windick's cruel and patently false moon bump story being spread online. Yeah, okay, that's the problem. Laura asked me to help stop the damage. To do this, Laura asked me to publish a video she took of herself 24 hours after the court appearance in which she allegedly wore a fake belly. This video clearly shows gluten bloating. Any allegation of her wearing a moon belly was completely false because her swollen belly was clearly real.
No.
That doesn't
Isn't
mean
that weird?
He
says, this is weird. He says swollen belly.
Well, because it says that in one of the filings that Judge Mata calls it a swollen abdomen or something like that.
Yeah.
Right. If you were Laura or Laura's attorney, wouldn't you call it a pregnant belly?
Right.
Yeah.
He keeps throwing her under the bus.
And I think he's trying to save face. I think he's kind of trying to plot in certain ways moving forward to because he knows he's on a sinking ship.
Maybe.
I get a lot of plausible deniability vibe.
I don't know if I believe that this video was taken 24 hours later.
No way. No, I don't either.
I mean,
I think it's fake. I think it's I think she sent it to an app and had someone give her a pregnant belly because of the distortions in the door frame.
Where are the distortions that we're seeing? Because I know somebody has pointed that out to me, but
no, this is interesting because there were different pictures that that were in one filing versus another filing, or pictures in the filing were photoshopped to be different than the video or the pictures we initially saw. So I don't know this one in particular, this screenshot, if it's one that she doctored up after or if it's the live screenshot from the video.
Okay.
I'll send you the Reddit post though.
Cool. Yeah. All right. While you were finding that, let me get through the rest of this. I'll try to go quickly, guys, because I know it is past 1 o'clock. Again, this video was posted with Laura's written consent. There we go. Written consent. That's what I was thinking. And at her request. So this is not an ER 1.6 issue. While this sort of thing may seem very strange in any other context, in this situation, I believe it was necessary and appropriate given the vast amount of false information previously published online by the JFC cult with Mr. Woodnick's tacit assistance and encouragement. What? When did Mr. Woodnick assist or encourage anyone to do that? Oh my god!
It was in the filing earlier. I think you were, away from keyboard.
I was in the bathroom. You can
so there is a Woodnick filing where they're like, okay, on November 2nd, she was wearing a moon bump in court.
Oh yeah, no, I remember that for sure. But I'm saying when did he encourage others to?
No, that's it.
Yeah.
But we should have asked Omar actually, because the filing from Woodnick does state it as like there was a November hearing and she wore a moon bump and had no clinical proof of pregnancy. Now the clinical proof of pregnancy thing is true, but was she really wearing a moon bump? I mean, we don't know that as a fact.
Yeah.
It's just a hypothesis.
Sure, but it's still not.
It would have been better for the Woodnick filing to phrase it as a hypothesis, but I don't know how big a deal that is.
Mm-hmm.
And the other aspect of that we mentioned before was that the community that watched the live stream November 2nd hearing, half of them in there were like, it looks like she's wearing a fake belly.
Yeah.
So it's not like Woodnick came up with this idea and everybody ran with it. This idea predated his filing. So the claim that Woodnick came up with this idea and then everybody ran with it, that Gingras is proposing here, is just wrong. It's temporally wrong.
Mm-hmm. Oh man. Okay, oh god, he's getting really off the rails in this next part here. Schnitzel, you sent me, what is this? This is in the same, this isn't the same.
It's from a different video, but I think it was from like around this, maybe a month prior, but this is the one that shows the distortions.
So you can see the wave here.
Yeah, the next one looks more, you can see that.
Right there, yeah.
And then someone noted at the foot of it, so if you look to the left of her legs, you can see the door goes up. If you follow up the bottom of the door. Yeah.
Oh, yeah, okay, I see that.
So there are some other signs on there.
Yeah, interesting.
And if you watch the live, you can see it changing as she turns.
Oh god, yeah.
So
I don't know where that is, but that's okay. I only see photos. I don't know if you sent me anything else.
I didn't. I can look for the video if you want.
If you can find it, that's cool. If not, it's fine. Up to you. I know it's, I'm asking for you to do a lot of stuff. So,
that's fine.
Right. He arranged. Okay, so number 5. He arranged for an excessive security detail, including a bomb squad.
We can't see the thing anymore.
Oh, my bad, guys. Give me 1 second. Is that better?
No. Now we just see you.
I know. Okay, hang on.
Justice for keyboard box.
Oh god. All right. He arranged for an excessive security detail, including a bomb squad, drug sniffing dogs, and a police escort.
Yeah. Okay.
Welcome. Go ahead.
Now this is interesting because this is how you know it's not a cult. Because I don't know where this came from. Like, from my perspective, the court had the bomb squad and dogs because it was a high-profile case.
Mm-hmm.
I don't believe David Gingras didn't arrange for any of this stuff. If he arranged anything, when they arrived, it was Gingras and Medchill, Laura's mom, and some dude, plainclothes dude, who I imagine was their like bodyguard or something.
Yeah.
Maybe he arranged for that bodyguard. I don't even know that.
Right.
Maybe the mom did. So I don't know where this sentence like really came from in this bar complaint.
Yeah, I don't know, man. I don't know either. I didn't know anything about the bomb squad. So.
It's not like there's a hive mind here or something. Like I don't think this sentence is correct.
I didn't know anything about bomb or drug sniffing dogs in bomb squad.
Well, I mean, I don't know what kind of dogs they were, but there were dogs with the SWAT team.
Didn't they come like after people went in?
No, before.
Oh, before anyone went into the courthouse?
So Dave and I got there really early, and we were like the only ones there. And I look over, and a couple spots down, there's like one of these work trucks, and these guys are putting on full tactical gear. I'm like, what the fuck is going on? Okay. And then when they saw me and Dave setting up the tech van, they moved farther away, probably because they didn't want to freak us the hell out. And then they started doing their patrols. And they were doing all of this way before the 15-minute line, started forming at the door.
Okay.
And I believe when the lieutenant or sergeant or whoever he was talked to me and talked to Megan Fox, he explained like, okay, these guys are here because this is a high-profile case. It's extra court security.
Julia Ann says, I want everyone to remember how Bruce looked in a suit, beautiful and iconic.
Oh my. Thank you.
All right.
I can.
Welcome to the crazy world of the JFC cult. I see in her June 26th email, redacted self-identifies as part of the Justice for Clayton Collective. Interesting term. Didn't he say Justice for Clayton Collective recently?
I mean, what word do you want us to use? I don't know. Like, if you're following the case, like, what are you? You're just a member of the public.
Right.
Reading.
I have very little response to the specific allegations kept to say. No, I did not arrange for the bomb squad to appear at trial on June 10th. To my knowledge, no bomb squad personnel were present. If they were, it certainly had nothing to do with me. I have no idea what a drug-sniffing dog redacted is referring to, or what drug-sniffing dog. If there were any dogs present at trial, I did not notice them. I didn't either, but like Bruce said, he and Dave were there.
I did.
Yeah. And I certainly had nothing to do with them being there.
And I think he's telling you the truth here. I don't think that he,
This is all correct.
Talking about.
Okay, this bullet point is just fucked up. Court security did provide an escort to from court for myself and Laura. This was done at Laura's request because she had received death threats from JFC cult members. Prove it. And because Mr. Maricini threatened to violate, and actually did violate, the DVRO by appearing in court without permission.
False.
In what fucking world is that what happened? Like, wow, okay.
Well, I mean, Clayton got a court security escort as well.
Mm-hmm. All right, and he doesn't mention that, of course, right?
No.
And Mike took his wife with him, first of all, for support, but also secondly, so Laura couldn't claim that shit happened, like even on the walk to her from the courthouse.
You have a witness, yeah.
Yes.
Wow. All right, 1 second. Oh, I see what you sent me now. Hang on. 1 second. So the videos that you sent me, should I be watching the first one, the second one, or what?
Well, the close-up one is, I mean, you could probably see it better, but then I sent you the actual video.
Okay, hang
on. I don't think he changed it to collective. I think he's saying that the person who filed the complaint said collective. He says cult in here over and over again. So he's not trying to look good in front of the bar.
Collective is too nice of a word for him to use.
I could have sworn he said collective in something recently.
He might have. I mean,
you're wrong. He could have been quoting.
In the early days, he might have. I don't know.
All right, let's see. Let me pull this up real quick. There it is. Okay. So this is what you just sent me. Hang on. And this is what we're looking for. Some distortion here. I mean, you see the wave right there.
Yeah, the door, and then either side of the door frame. You should be able to see it.
Okay. I don't see it yet on the door frame.
I think you got to do it real slow. I don't know if it's worth the time. I mean, this isn't even the thing he posted in the
right. This isn't
his response.
Exact, but that's the video that it comes from.
Okay, cool.
And I took screenshots from like the videos I sent you. That's what the
okay.
Yeah.
All right. He made an unwarranted 911 call during which he followed the witness and disclosed personal information to the operator. Well, as explained above, Laura had and still has a valid lawful court order from the state of California, which required Mr. Maricini to remain at least 300 feet away from her at all times without exception. On the morning of trial, June 10th, Laura informed me that she saw Mr. Maricini in the parking lot within 300 feet. Was he there before her? Probably. She then asked me to contact law enforcement and asked them to enforce the DVRO. I initially contacted court security, but they advised they were unable to help. Or they probably told you that's not a thing. I mean, Okay. They specifically told me the only option was to call 911 and ask Phoenix Police to enforce the court's order. So Phoenix Police, it's definitely Phoenix Police, not Scottsdale.
It's 100% Phoenix Police. Yep.
Okay.
They were Phoenix Police cars.
Okay. Why is that? It's a Scottsdale courthouse, right?
Yes, but I think just based on the jurisdiction, it was technically Phoenix Police.
That's weird. Right. Enforce the court's order, which they were required by VAWA to do. In response to the instructions from court security, I called 911 and I reported the matter to law enforcement. Okay.
Congrats.
For whatever it's worth, Judge Mata's division specifically instructs all parties in counsel to call 911 if they believe they are in danger of physical harm. And you thought she was in danger of physical harm behind all those security guards?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yeah, so they claim they had a police escort, but they were in harm's way. Okay, sir.
And the guys never went near her.
And then he includes an email from Judge Mata's clerk on April 4th, which contains that admonition. Yeah, this is not what she was referring to, but okay.
I mean, it's just boilerplate, right?
Yeah.
And then what? I mean, does he get to the money shot here? Like,
God. Clearly, Laura had every right to ask law enforcement to enforce a facially valid court order. Court security and Judge Mata's division advised. Okay, come on, man. I have a feeling that's not exactly what was advised, but okay. Words are, they can be twisted. Advised calling 911 was the proper resource. That's what I did. There was nothing improper about this. Wow. Mm-hmm. I noticed he didn't mention the judge already ruled on this issue.
Right. Mm-hmm. And that there was a subpoena. And Mike could literally get in legal trouble if he ignored that subpoena.
Right. Yeah. You can get arrested for that too.
Right.
Also, there's 9 million cops all over the courthouse before the Phoenix guys got there.
Yeah. Oh man, what was he gonna do? How would he was between the kind of the wall and his wife that was next to him, and then a bunch of people to his right. So he would have to bypass all of those people without security noticing he stood up to go fucking harm her or whatever. And then security would just have to not notice for her to be in harm's way. You know what I mean? So
pretty ridiculous.
That's so stupid. And she was also alone in the maternity room or something. So what does it matter?
I think Omar's a better person than me, feeling empathetic for her. I think she has met her match. I think she's getting exactly what you reap what you sow. I think she's getting that. I don't want to say what she deserves, however you want to say it. So I don't feel bad for her at all.
Yeah. Damn. I feel that way too, but Omar's a good guy. Not that you're not.
Well, I guess not as good because I don't have any empathy.
I don't think that means that you're not good. I just think it means you don't deal with bullshit like that. Okay. And also his perspective is a little different because he's talking about from the perspective of somebody who knows how attorneys work and the way that he believes his actions are influencing her, that kind of stuff. So it's a little different.
Yeah.
Okay.
Thanks.
If the witness she is referring to is Mr. Maricini, that allegation is simply false. I stayed with or near court security personnel during this entire call. And you felt someone was in danger. And when Phoenix Police arrived, I provided them with a copy of the DVRO and I explained the situation to them. I did not follow anyone. I'm sure there are security cameras that can prove or disprove that, but okay. Nor did I disclose personal information to anyone other than law enforcement. I assume the personal information redacted is referring to is Mr. Maricini's date of birth, which is listed on the DVRO and which Phoenix Police specifically asked me to provide to them. In any event, I believe this responds to all specific allegations in Redacted's charge. If you believe I have missed something, okay, I got a few things, but okay.
Why didn't they arrest Mike?
Yeah.
You moron.
I would appreciate it. And why were you making threats on, what was it, Twitter? I mean, I would appreciate it if you could let me know the specific allegation you feel needs to be addressed. I would be glad to update this response if there is something further you need to know. As always, feel free to contact me with any questions. Very truly yours, David S. Gingras, Esquire.
I actually agree. I didn't hear that he followed Mike. I heard he walked up to Mike while on 911.
I heard that he followed him towards the bathroom or something. I don't remember where I heard that though. Yeah.
I think maybe Mike might have been near the bathroom, but I heard he went to a position where Mike could hear him making the phone call.
That much.
Now that's not following, but that's more like approaching.
I did hear, and this is not to say that it's true, but I did hear that he followed Mike.
Okay, maybe
whatever.
I
can't remember where that came
I think
from.
he's doing linguistic gymnastics here.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah. So either way, I didn't see it, so I couldn't say for sure, with my finalize what happened.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
The rest of this, guys, is actually exhibits, so we're not gonna go through that. So, that
no more pictures of Dave.
Pictures of Dave. I mean, there fucking might be. I didn't go through all the exhibits.
This is a good document, He's got Dave Neal thumbnails. He's got Laura Owens memes from Twitter. I mean, there's a lot of entertaining stuff in here.
Oh man, yeah, that was a lot. I feel like
a lot.
Oh my god, it's been almost 3 hours.
And this is a turn. This is the second stream.
Oh my god, no, this is my 4th of the day.
Oh my god.
Yeah, and it's tomorrow, so I don't know. It's my 4th of yesterday, 1st of today, I guess. Yeah.
It's so crazy. I don't know why he thinks we're so dangerous. All I've ever wanted is for a medical provider to send a legit ultrasound of this pregnancy to Greg Woodnick. That's it. That's all I want in life.
He has to keep making her look like the victim. That's the narrative he has to continue.
Oh yeah.
I just wanted to stop pretending she's suicidal, but that's just me.
Mm-hmm.
All right. MM, thank you for the 10. On Twitter, he was telling people to come say hi to him, but to keep their hands in the open because he more or less would take a shot. And he wasn't meaning like a shot of vodka. I don't know. I remember the tweet. I do remember the tweet. I don't know about the shot part, but I remember the tweet.
I remember that. MM. Yeah, he did say something sketchy like that.
Yeah, it was weird.
Keep your hands where I can see them.
Yeah.
And it's like, dude.
No one cares enough to do that.
Number one, you're at court. Number two, there's a SWAT team with dogs wandering around.
Yeah.
In case you didn't notice.
I mean, well, he didn't apparently.
Oh man. They did you dirty, Bruce. You were part of that stream. I'm guessing he's talking about Dave's.
So in the in one of these documents, right, when they're talking about the judge's dad or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
It's actually the ruling from Judge Mata's boss, right?
Mm-hmm.
So basically, they're like, Dave said the thing like, "Oh, we don't need a mistrial, ha ha ha."
Yeah.
So I said, we'll get him some scones.
Right. Yeah.
And they attributed that to Reality Steve, which makes sense because I was off camera on a mic.
Yeah.
Steve had a mic, but he didn't say it. I said it. I was on mic 3.
You should file a complaint
against Judge Mata's boss. You got this detail wrong. I want credit. I mean, even Brad is male voice. Even Brad got that. Brad got to be male voice.
We have male voice, male in hat, and what was yours again?
That was Dave.
Yeah.
Well, what was yours? Reality Steve was wearing a red shirt, and Reality Steve did say some of the things in their transcript.
I get it now.
It's just when they got to that one line that I said, they attributed it to Reality Steve.
Hey, I've never been in a filing either, man.
But I thought it was hilarious that Judge Mata's boss was like, obviously this is humor since they're talking about getting scones. And I'm like, thank you. I've done my job.
Right.
And on that note.
Yeah, it is time for me to go to bed for real. All right, thanks guys for coming and sticking around. I mean, it's been a long night, so
thanks for inviting us.
Yeah, of course. I'll see you next time, I guess. All right, I'm gonna end the stream now. Thank you everybody for being here, and I'll talk to you soon.
Thanks, guys.
Bye.